What's going on, everybody? It is the MOSHCAST episode I forgot. I'm your host, Almighty Sai, but everybody knows that. We have really two cool special guests today. One random, one not so random. Maybe they're both random.
I'm the random one.
Who knows? Maybe we're all random in this thing.
Yeah,
a little bit.
They are Jacob and Roper.
Right, yep. Hello. I'm actually here. I'm here with Bible Times' biggest fan, actually.
Yeah. Yes, Roper.
Yeah.
If it'll be in the description, but Roper, he does this thing on YouTube. Where is it? What else is it on? It's on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, this is it. This is the big... I should have muted that. This is the big reveal of It's BibleTime.com.
Oh,
it's
really?
BibleTime. It's a thing.
Wow.
It's definitely...
Wow, it just shot up. You just made it?
Soon.
Soon?
It
Oh,
will
yeah?
be made. I think what it is Bible Time's taken. But
okay.
I don't think it's Bible Time is. So it's
Right.
it's Bible Time. So
Right.
.com.
Or
.com,
maybe
yes.
put the E at the end of Bible as a 3.
Like
get
three
all
E's.
quirky with it.
Just, no, just a number.
It's
just
Bible
a-
Time with 3 E's.
Just with a number, just a number 3.
No, it's Bible time.
Hey,
and then
that's artistic.
3 at the end.
No, that's
It's
cool.
Bible.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy's brilliant.
Yeah, we can work with it. We can work with it. We can
Golly,
do something.
look at that. That's
We'll
that's
come up
impressive,
with
dude.
something.
That's good.
Well, that's cool. Like you're
I might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool that I found you. You showed me your videos. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. We had a conversation me and Jacob did whenever Aiden was here. If you haven't watched the Aiden episode, do so. But whenever Aiden was here, we kind of were getting ideas about what we should do. Then y'all ended up on the route with me, and then you shot. Maybe we should do a podcast with Roper.
Yeah.
And that kind of was like a haha joke because I didn't know you. I didn't know who you were. And so I was like, yeah, maybe that would work. And then Jacob just was like, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Or you texted me in the morning. You're like, I'm going to call you tonight.
Yeah, so later tonight we're going to do a 3-way phone call.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And
So
then
I got
that's
in
when
contact
That's when it all
Roper.
happened. Yeah, man. So I got to add a disclaimer real quick.
Yeah.
And so the disclaimer is this. So, I mean, the idea would be, because some people are going to watch you, and then they're going to say, you know what? He says the F word. That's,
Yeah.
and so that's, so, but let me add a disclaimer here. So the idea is like,
I know what Roper's trying to say. The disclaimer on this episode is we're trying to be as clean as possible. We're going to have.
do you mind if I test it out real quick? Do we want to see if the technology works?
Well, the thing is with the technology.
Horse shit! Did it work? Did it work?
I hope it does.
It'll work. It'll work.
Okay, thank you.
For sure.
Thank you.
For sure.
Okay.
But the disclaimer is we're going to be as clean as possible, and we're going to
Thanks, guys.
mute
Yeah.
some stuff if we need to. Like Roper said, people are going to see my other episodes and be like, who the hell is this guy?
Who is this dude?
Who's this guy?
I'm trying to remember the disclaimer. I had the disclaimer. It's that, and it's on behalf of me, not anything having to do, the idea is like,
Right.
If I have the notion in a measurable, in my own estimations, idea that I have the formula for the idea of something that can save the world.
Right.
That's allegedly the idea. And so if I had that, and then I didn't share that,
Right.
because he says the word, or he's wobbled my ears, or whatever situation,
Right.
But that if I truly believe that in any measurable amount, that it would be irresponsible,
Right.
to not be here,
Right.
and
Right.
so
And
just
share it.
yeah, that's the
Share it.
idea.
But
That's
here's the
idea.
thing, Roper. What if the F word is the word that saves the world?
Oh my goodness. I haven't thought about that.
have-
That works in
I have a really big question at the very end of this, and I need
just
your opinion.
fireworks.
But that one came up. What if the F word is the word that saves the world?
That I think everybody could learn and grow from a story like that. That somehow a word was something, that it's what you make it.
Such an impact.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is I thought extensively about that word, and it was Netflix did a special over it, and they're analyzing the word, and they're saying we don't even know what this means anymore.
Right.
It's like baby language. It's like it doesn't. There's no connotation.
Right.
Like it's the world's most versatile word, and so I'm just like, man, it really is up to the perceiver in many ways.
Right.
Like, so I mean, like, and on each individual basis, the person would be using the word just like any other adjective. Just like it stopped carrying content. I do actually know. Somebody tell me if this is wrong. They used to cut off the middle fingers of rapists.
Really?
I think. I don't know. I'd have to be double checked on it, and that's kind of where the middle finger thing came from.
Wow.
And I don't know the historical accuracy of
we're
that.
We're gonna stick with it. The MOSHCAST, we don't really know what we talk about.
That's cool.
All we know is that sometimes we're right, and sometimes it just ends up being
might
that way.
be. Yeah,
y'all
who
can
knows?
check it. Yeah, someone else can check it.
We say things and then y'all go check it so that we help you learn something, and not the other way around.
That is our goal. We help you learn by exercising.
Hopefully,
do research.
How was the trip here? Y'all were the longest distance people to actually travel to do this thing. Yes.
Wow.
So to get ready for the release of Bible Time, we watched the whole way. The whole way we watched Bible Man.
Oh
We watched Bible Man.
That's
how was that for you, Jacob?
Oh, man, it was the first time I ever saw
He
it.
loved it.
Do you know what Bible Man is?
Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, okay, I'm understanding that for like your generation, that was like somewhat. It was like the Veggie Tales for ours.
Yeah. I mean, VeggieTales was in the mix of all of that. It was just one of those things where it was a little bit older than.
Yeah, and dude, I was watching the technology, like the whole
I should have showed you
behind
the theme
it.
song.
The
Oh,
whole production behind it was really funny.
Amazing.
Well, yeah, I bet it was.
That's probably why we got like people like me and Roper here on the earth today was because of Bible Man.
So yeah,
that
was the precursor to a lot. Yeah, we watched an episode that it was literally kind of formulated around the idea of it being the turn of the 20th century.
Wow.
Like it was a big deal. Like even in the episode of the show or whatever, they were like, "We're here to let you know that it is now 2000. So welcome." It was like a new version. It was like Bible Man 2000, and it was
I think
like a
we
big
can
deal.
learn a lot by watching it, and even like really, it's some of their jokes are
It was interesting to see
the one with the Jew,
the
one with the
Jew
Jew
was created.
They had a very stereotypical man play a Jew in the most stereotypical way,
right?
And I forgot what the scenario was, but Bible Man had to set this Jew straight, and
wow.
So I mean, it is a cultural artifact that is
really outdated.
It showed its date, but I mean, I could definitely understand while watching it. Oh, at the time, if I was a kid at that point in time, that seemed like the biggest deal in the entire world.
Right.
They did. They were very into the pot hysteria, witch hunt, the narrative of the time that was somewhat out of ignorance,
where everything was bad.
Anything was bad, especially pop, because everything was so for a duration of time. Anyways, Bible Man was like talking trash on people who smoke marijuana,
right?
But dude, the thing is just like, okay, well, I'm sorry, that's a difficult one.
It is a very difficult one, but it is very.
It's a relic of its time.
Yeah.
It's a showing of what is misunderstanding. And then I can't judge exactly the point.
So that we can
learn.
It's
documented.
It's documented.
Right.
So.
But I mean, like, if there's any question of the medicinal value of THC, I mean, they might not have had as much of it back then, but now we certainly do. Now it's just like case closed.
Right. Now we got knowledge.
Yeah. And
we got experience behind our belt.
It's
doctors.
It's
very.
There you go. Yeah.
It's very tough whenever you get stuff from the Bible itself, and then things change. I don't know if you really dig deep in. I know you dig deep in the Bible.
I'm always surprised at how much. I really am. I'm always surprised at what. There's not much on. It doesn't provide much guidance on the idea of what might have been the use. Well, how do you say that? It is that it's not impossible that in that region of time they could have been exposed to various forms of psychedelics. It's not. It's not definitively true, and it's not definitively proven otherwise.
Right.
But, it's if that was an issue of its time, it does make me wonder, well, they're not talking about it a lot. So
Right.
if it was, they're definitely not mentioning it. So it's kind of...
It's kind of hard.
Yeah,
well,
it leaves
especially
a lot
in
of...
the area that they were at, it's very dry, very deserty.
There's one verse that Paul says that stay in your right state of mind, and you know, like there's a few times that it does it, but I'm just like, okay, this guy's like a PR guy. This guy's like coming in here with a bunch of like, oh goodness, what would you like a benign Wolf of Wall Street? I have no idea how to say that. A good, bad, you know, just like against the government really is the foundational structure of it. Right. And I forgot.
Well, going to keeping this whole conversation going, even with like a lot of things that they did back then in the Bible too, like you couldn't eat what was it, pork?
You couldn't eat. Oh, dude,
you couldn't eat pork.
There's
so
much.
Because of
there was a lot of
It could
stuff.
have been because of the pork was poisoned essentially,
and you couldn't eat things. I mean,
I would like to think that
there's
God
underlying
would be
stuff.
I would like to think that God would be like, you know what, don't eat pork. You know,
dude, there was a lot.
It
was all. There was a lot of stuff. Like I remember reading some of the scripture and stuff, and it said things like you can't eat like dirty animal,
right?
And I think it specifies in there, but
then
it got into like
animals.
technical stuff, like you could not eat an animal that was born after this many generations, and then it got into like you could not eat this type of animal if for whatever.
It was scrupulous in some way.
There was a lot of like it had specifications.
Like Peter has a whole deal to where his meat falls from the sky, and he just has this resolution in his dream that people could eat meat at that point.
Right.
So I don't know if it stopped being
what I'm trying to
poison
say is sooner or later people just said
we
could
eat. Yeah, we adapted.
We adapted. We figured out that like you could, whatever the pork being poisonous or whatever, we figured it out and we changed that narrative to where it's like you could eat fish and pork and all these things. So
all
like,
of a sudden,
marijuana wasn't in the Bible, per se.
I don't think it was indigenous to the area.
But at the same time, it's like we had this bad thing, and now we're evolving to where like it's okay. To maybe do this
and the idea is it's a very sad situation because what you have is you have doctors, which are the people that you want to listen to. That they are the experts of the substance. They should be want to listen to your scientist.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They're the person that's supposed to know exactly.
Yeah, and you have an extremely high approval rating. That's like at 70% of doctors. I got to say it at some point, so let me throw it in here. 40% of all arrests have been for marijuana. Right. And that's a lot. That's a big number.
Tons.
It's in the millions. It's in the millions of people that have been arrested. And so I'm just throwing facts out here at this point. But the sad thing about it is, I'm not surprised that there are people that reject scientific truisms, that whenever you have 70% of doctors that are just like, you know what, this is, we recognize this as something that should be sold medicinally, either over the counter or prescribed. Right. And so it doesn't specify which. They just say, thank you, by the way. Yeah, I think me and you both got water in our beards. Yeah. But one day I might oh dude, I should have shaved, man. I'll tell you that.
Got the whole thing going.
Oh dude, your beard's fantastic. But
Thank you.
But yeah, man, what's so sad is I'm not surprised that there's a population of the society that rejects scientific truths or rejects the fact. Well, it's pretty close because there's no 100% ratings in medicine, but 70% is pretty close. That is well above average.
Right.
So I'm not surprised that there's members of society that fail to recognize that. But whenever you have people that are paid professionals endowed with power, endowed with responsibility.
Corruption takes everyone.
Well, you have a moral responsibility to adhere to scientific truths,
right?
As at any level of society. And so, whenever you have people who are judges and cops who have rejected scientific data on the basis of upholding whatever, it's okay.
It's hard to have trust at that point.
Yes, it's hard to have trust, and what happens is it's like the fabric of the thing that our forefathers talked about. Like it's just like if you can unrightfully in prison or any of those things, another person,
Right.
your whole system is in danger.
Right. Yeah.
Your whole thing is a you created a
time bomb as
well
a structure.
a microcosm or like an environment
Yeah.
for
Kind of like a post-apocalyptic world.
dude, you definitely like yeah if you could see it it's just like this leads to that result,
Right.
like the adherence to unnecessary force upon an individual,
Right. Right.
it's once you break that law, once you break that human law, whether you're putting handcuffs on people or a judge, it's at a religious level.
Right.
They're sinning.
Yep.
They're sinning.
Right, and it goes into the and that's crazy that you bring up the sinning part, because we're trying to follow this belief system, whether that the people that are watching be Christian or Catholic or Methodist or whatever
Atheist,
you are.
yeah, whatever. Yeah,
You're trying to follow this moral compass here that you want to follow, and I know in the Bible it says obey the laws of the land, and so you have a place like Texas where it's like illegal to have marijuana and stuff.
Yeah.
But you have a place like Colorado where it's like
Paul comes in there and straightens that
literally a
that place
prohibition.
up, man. Paul comes in and he's just like, their Lord and Savior was crucified at the hands of the government just previously.
Right.
And so they're very, what's the word? I don't know. Disobeying. And so
very hypocritical, I guess.
perhaps. And to some degree.
Which
and
is crazy
Paul
because I
really
never thought of that.
structured.
I never thought that people were following these laws that the lawmakers made in the Bible, and yet they crucified somebody.
It is
they
confusing.
killed somebody.
Their church gave him to the powers that be. So the church hands. It's an odd thing. At one point, one dude says, "Isn't it better for one dude to die to save the whole country?
Right.
Let's not stop him."
Right.
That's yeah. So
That's kind of like
my-
that's immoral. That's an immoral compass of a moral person. That's really dark, man.
yeah. It's
So we're even talking about following
people
the laws.
picked up on Paul so much, and it's just like we cannot forget what the Gospels, like it's just like the Gospel story tells us. Like, it is like it's a story about God being crucified by the government,
Right.
And so like like we can adhere to Paul or whatever,
Yeah.
But I think we both I feel like a necessary degree of reluctance is.
Yeah.
I repent. That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
thank you for I repent. I was an RA and I was the worst. I was bad about when I smelt it. I reported it.
He was a goody RA.
I was just like, this is the law, and I repent. I was wrong.
Right.
The rules or whatever. But I mean, at a deep human level, like, I'm glad that I spent time in jail, like how I did.
Right.
Because it's just like, man, I was breaking the fundamental rule of the sovereign individual.
Right.
And like, it's just like, shame on me for that.
Right. I have a crazy kind of story to tell. I used to work at a store, and whenever I got there, it was in shambles. And me and my friend kind of built this thing back up because he became manager, asked me to work with him. And I was like, yeah, for sure. Long process, very, very tough. But at the end of the day, we got there in the middle of the year, and we had inventory the next year. That would be February. And whenever we did inventory, we found out that before we started working there was about 500 to almost, it was either $250,000 or $500,000 of products in that store were stolen, right?
That's
And
a
we're
lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yes.
In a small store like it was a lot of money. And I was like, that's crazy. I've never seen this number before, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the inventory, that's February, tax season comes around, they see that stolen product, and then they get their money back, right? And I sat with that for a long time because I always thought thieving is wrong. Thieving is it's bad, not to steal, do all these things. to do these things, and then all of a sudden,
the early Christians are so sherry or something like that.
Right.
I mean, I don't think they understood like the dangers of communism or anything like that. But they were super a little bit, a little bit Robin Hoody almost. So,
Right.
I mean, it's a tough one.
So like
in a way.
it was. But
But I do agree that we can't do that.
But like the law, it says don't steal and stuff. But it's funny to know that the people that you steal from get their money back anyway. And I was just sitting.
Why would you want anything more?
Right.
That's what you're saying?
Right.
I feel the same way. If they gave me my money back, I'm just like, I'm done. I'm out of this.
it.
Like, I'm not going to spank you.
Right.
So
right.
like,
You got a Walmart. The Walmart as a person. If Walmart was a person was looking at you and they saw you steal something, it's like, well, I get my money back anyway, so take it.
Take it.
It is
You know
a
what I'm
tricky
saying?
road. I know.
That's
because,
weird
yeah,
to know, like that, because I was sitting there and I was thinking exactly like that. I was like,
money's the root of all evil type thing.
yeah, but
it's just like,
I need this. I don't have enough money, so I'm gonna take it. But they get their mony back anyway. So,
why imprison them for 6
so
years
on your
or why
moral
do whatever?
compass, it's like, well, then what the hell does it matter?
Yeah,
like,
Because if I was stealing,
we
something
do sometimes
like
have
a
a
small,
very forgiving system.
yeah,
we
a
do
small
sometimes.
mom and pop shop or whatever, or a small business, like I can understand where. I have friends that literally got their laptop stolen from their studio, and they're building
That's more personal. Yeah,
they're building their.
That one's a
their
different type of
business up.
sin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't get that laptop back, nor do they have the money to even buy another laptop. That's
Right.
So
Very
it
different,
matters.
very different.
In terms of the concept of stealing, it matters when it's something small like
But
mom and
does
pop
it,
or
though?
whatever. Well, it matters
Or
when
your heart?
it matters when you're actually doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in
when
your
you steal-
heart. Yeah,
well, no,
whatever.
When you steal
morally-
hearts, Jacob,
yeah.
what
When you
is
steal
there a
hearts,
crime that's being
come
committed?
on.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it only matters if it's like a direct. What's the word? Like negative effect. Like it matters when it
True
hurts
measurable.
someone.
Right.
Like
Right.
if
Are you
mom
just
and
talking
pop
about
or something,
reality?
and then they have to build back up from it. But
Right.
it doesn't matter if
Yeah.
they're going to get compensated for
Right.
it anyways.
And
And the
There
law
was
does.
no
The
laws.
law does somewhat actually
There was no
reflect
laws.
that to my understanding. I think they do come down harsher on those who steal with.
Well, it's just one of those things. At the end of the day, too, God says every sin is a sin in His eyes anyway.
Oh yeah,
So,
in your heart, you
in
should
your
not
heart of
steal at
heart.
all.
Yeah, because God
But-
said.
But
a
now
sin's a sin,
we're
doesn't
onto
matter how
the
small or
logical
big it
and
is.
I mean,
practical
like,
side of
yeah,
things.
oh yeah. It's difficult
Logically
because
speaking.
if you can wire Bill Gates money to get bags of rice to feed children, it's just like, well, I mean, let's not make that too simple.
Right.
Let's not say, let's not automatically say that. Let's take our time on that a bit.
Right.
Know.
Jeff Bezos has literally the most money in the world, and if we took even like maybe a fraction of that and actually helped the world, would it even matter? Because he has money anyway.
Yeah, this
Right.
really happened.
But it is stealing, though.
It's literally, dude. That's the whole concept of Robin Hood.
Did y'all hear
man.
about
It's
Tesla?
like-
Did y'all hear what Tesla did?
What did Tesla
All right,
do?
so this dude, the UN or somebody. So I mean, it's just like that's hopefully pretty credible. Goes up to these 6 millionaires, and one of them's like Bill Gates, and they ask him like, "Hey, this is we're coming out of COVID. There's like this is like a one-time chance. Can you please save the world?
Oh,
Can you please stop
yeah,
these children
I know what you're
from
talking
dying?"
about, and they're like,
And Tesla stepped up for all of them.
Yeah.
Tesla dude.
filled
But
up.
he said you gotta provide evidence of exactly where
you
the
have
money
to.
goes.
He said you actually have to prove that what I'm doing is helping. Otherwise, it's pointless.
My understanding is that
Oh,
Tesla
okay.
was the
That's-
only
yeah.
decent human being, and it's just like deep down in my heart, do I wish that maybe.
I mean, he had a simple. He asked a simple question, or not even a question. He's like, "You just have to show me that what I'm doing for you is actually helping
Yeah.
the world." I mean,
Yeah.
that's as simple. If you're asking,
Oh, yeah, I
somebody
think it was
for
definitely
$20.
Yeah, he
I'm
made it like a
definitely.
big
If you
thing.
ask me for, I would say if you ask me for like $2,000, I'm going to ask what the $2,000 is for.
It's like
Yeah,
like a homeless man that's sitting outside somewhere, and he's like, "Can I have some change for some food?" And like, maybe your suspicion is he's actually gonna go buy drugs or whatever. So
Right.
it's like giving him an ultimatum, like, "Here, look, I'm gonna give you this money right
Anytime
now."
they don't go get
and
him
it
food,
is
they're-
it is
then they're guilty
specifically
of sin,
it is
you know?
specifically to go into that store and buy some bread so that you can eat, and I'm
Right.
going to watch you. You
Right.
have to prove to me that you got bread,
Like,
not that you bought
yeah.
drugs. Or
It-
something.
which may be rude or whatever, which may be
Kind of
Well,
like a
it-
test.
it makes
I think Elon
sense.
Musk was like testing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like a little
it might be
experiment.
responsible.
If one of my friends asks for $50, or actually, you know what? I'm going to say this: if one of my friends asks for $5,000 and says, "Hey, I need $5,000," I'm going to ask why. That's a lot of money. But if my friend asks me for $10, to be honest, if I know that they're well kept in any way, I'm probably just gonna give them the $10. I don't care what they use it for.
Dude,
not bad.
I remember I was in such a place, man. It was rough when I lived in Canyon. I'm so glad that we're here because this is cool.
Yeah, he got nostalgic on the drive.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. Yeah. So when I lived in
Actually,
this
I
town,
have a few people that know you.
oh, dude, who do you know?
Gato.
Cat.
Yeah. He call him Molecule Gato.
Oh, I probably know. Dude, I'm such a face.
I'll
person.
show you a picture of him. You'll be like,
He is
okay.
pretty terrible.
Yeah,
with
at that
names.
point, I'll probably remember. But yeah, man, I used to.
He is quite a big figure around this area.
Most difficult picture to understand. He's
me go find-
hidden.
Let me go find another one. But yeah, you coming to Canyon.
Oh yeah. I used to walk. I used to not sleep, and I would walk around this town all night. I have a deep nostalgia for here. It was so weird because I felt very safe because of the amount of police. It's just like, well, I'm not gonna die hopefully for whatever reason,
right?
Because this is like there's so many police here. But I mean, other than that, I was just I was kind of worried because it's just like, it was very difficult because I respect the sovereign individual,
Right?
So damn much. It's just like, like, what if I just want to do the silly walk? If I just want to do the silly walk all day, all night, like it's just like I know that a cop would just be like, "Hey, it's weird. You're weird, dude.
Yeah, what are you
You're weird.
doing?
Yeah." And that that's sad. That's sad. Like I want to be able to
asking
do
questions about things that doesn't pertain to him.
Yeah, it's a vibe killer or whatever. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like maybe
for
just
real.
want a silly walk.
And dude, that's what happens when you're in a small town. See, this is like a decently small town, but like I come from like an even smaller town, like 4,000 people, right? And all the cops love to get close and personal.
His name's Edgar.
Oh,
like
that name's that I can make that name for that face.
I said that you were coming
too.
because he did podcast yesterday. I said you were coming. He goes, dude, that guy's a trip.
That is how
I'm
you
excited.
are always described. That is the number one adjective when describing Roper.
Well, you know what's crazy because we had that conversation on the phone, and I was right from there. It was actually right after I didn't even watch. I did watch all of your episode, most of your episodes.
Which one?
The ones that you sent me. And then I
So I think it was John 7.
Yeah, John 7, and then I think it was like why I'm Christian.
Jonah? Oh, why I believe in God. Yeah.
So why I believe in God, and I liked them, and I watched a few others. But right whenever that title sequence ended, I was like, this guy is something else. I love your title sequence, dude.
Oh, are you talking? Oh, for Bible time?
Yeah,
dude. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's. Oh gosh, I wrestle with between over complimenting my own stuff and and being honest,
Right.
It's really artistically creative.
Yeah, it's very
unique.
Yeah.
Creative.
Jacob, actually, let's go ahead and how would, as Bible Time's biggest fan, Jacob?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
How would you describe how
You're
and
in your
why
own church
and,
attire too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
just the biggest why.
Oh man, see, Bible time. Oh, okay. Here's the thing. The thing about Bible time is that it is definitely. So don't even question it. Don't even have doubts at all. It is definitely a thing.
Okay.
It
and
is.
It is.
It's a real thing?
Yeah. And it and to get into it and to watch it, it is time consuming. It does.
It does do that.
It does consume.
It does consume
to
time.
watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it
Completely
is,
agree.
It is a thing, and I watch
Yes.
it, and it's out there. Like
It is. It's on.
really
It's
out
out
there.
there. It's out there creatively
digitally.
in like a metaphorical way, and it's also I don't
Happened
say
in a
literally
place and
'cause I think
time.
it's materialistic,
It was
but I mean it is
immortalized.
it is out there in existence.
Right.
In
Yeah.
the sense you can see it.
Could not have
You can
Now,
said that better.
Did the
That
coffee
was-
pot?
100%.
Did the coffee pot?
Dude,
Purposely,
I'm so glad you bring up the coffee pot.
jumped off
That's
the
exactly what
counter.
I was like. So was that improvised? Well, I love the
Well,
coffee
the
pot's
thing
like one
is,
of my
it's
favorite
like,
things.
I will not be so arrogant as to think that I know everything that I do on purpose.
Uh-huh.
But no.
The coffee pot
The coffee pot just fell off the table.
Oh,
Yeah, and then you just used it.
I loved it. It was literally one of my favorite parts. I loved it.
And that's at that point I was just kind of like, okay, maybe that will explain kind of what's happening here. Is just like, I read it was, oh gosh, it was Chuck Palahniuk of all people, said like to paint your nose hairs, to where it's just like if you're trying to be authentic, get mascara and paint your nose hairs.
Oh,
basically,
right.
So it is that it's very what's the word? Vulnerable almost.
Yeah, it is vulnerable. It is. You could say intimate. Yeah, it's pretty
Intimate.
You could say intimate.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that you fall in love with Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
100%.
I hope that.
And I think that's the goal. That's
the goal.
You is to become more intimate.
Is to become one with God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least, at the very least, have a better understanding
Right.
of his son
whatever it is you're trying to learn. It is knowledge.
Let's step back just a little bit.
Go for it.
Growing up who you are, I want the steps on what Roper is today.
Oh.
So we're growing up, right? How was that? What's the
home life?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it.
Environment here.
I'm gonna start with the positive, and then kind of be vulnerable. So like, I have an amazing mom and dad. I don't always agree with my brothers. That's difficult. That's just that's circumstantial type stuff.
I think it'd be kind of important. You should drop the number of this number of siblings.
Yeah,
I have 3 older brothers.
Oh, wow. There's all boys, huh?
Yeah, man. And so I was like a moving target or whatever. I was not oh look, I was not babied too. Well, maybe my parents babied me, but I digress. I had really good parents, and they're great now. They're great parents to have now, and everything like that. My mother was one of the million, and this is not who she is. There's you don't want to limit a person to something like this, and I definitely am not doing that. But she struggled with prescription medication addiction along with millions of people.
Right.
And so I am just I'm livid about a situation to where multiple people dealing, my friend broke his leg falling off a motorcycle, and it's just it doesn't take, it's not debatable really amongst most scientists, most doctors. It's just well, that's good pain treatment. Yeah. That'll work. That'll get you out of your headspace of pain a little bit.
The pain off.
Yeah,
relax.
Yeah. And and then there's this part of me that's just well, there's so many people that can't do it, and I feel so bad that that the world's just like that,
right?
And then so it's rough, dude. But you take somebody whose mom, whatever, was damaged by a system, and then I understand the system, and then I want to diagnose it, and then explain that this is a part of something that corrupts the entire system, and so it's that I can't say it enough. It hurt. I don't know how to,
Right.
It's just it's I detect something that can crumble from the, to adhere to lies for the sake of not helping someone and actually endangering their well-being and harming their well-being.
Right.
It's the ultimate sin. It's the ultimate sin.
This is the beginning of your character. This right here at this moment.
I'm just trying to explain, but yeah,
right.
Dude. But yeah, no, you're right. It took me a little bit to understand it, but it's just Roper, you are the child of someone who that's what happened, and so I have to assume that that's part of your
genuine coming of age story. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't have that story. I never was a part of
a different path,
of an addictive household. My parents were kind of good, where my parents a little bit well, my dad wasn't, but my mom was a little bit too obsessive over us as kids, Okay. But so we're all different. I mean, and for you to use this negative impact in your life as for good.
You use your situation, the car. Use the hand that you're dealt.
Now, does it suck? It definitely sucks. But
the situation was difficult. Growing up and stuff, and again, you never want to limit somebody's characteristics because that's a part. It's not that's not the whole.
Right.
Yeah. And so it hurts so bad that you are called to do something out of sheer pain. And so I'm just it pains me that the world's like that.
Right.
I want to eventually sleep at night. I want to, and so that's what kind of put me down the path that I went. I was just I want to be right in history. I want to, so I mean, there's, the ultimate blame it's funny that it works like this, but the ultimate blame belongs with Jesus. Like he's ultimately the one to blame for how I've gotten where I'm at.
Right.
And I mean that, like accurately or whatever, like place the blame upon, that's.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. If Jesus died for your sins, so if you don't sin, he died for nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
and so that's,
literally, that's a little joke line that I give to a lot of people, but like the truth to it is like
it's tricky. Well,
that's kind of the point.
We have to remember that those early Christians, two insane things happened. Christ came down to earth. That's crazy.
Right.
Like that's the first thing. That's just like
nobody or
we didn't know that
could.
We kind of did. We kind of had some stuff that was in the works in the Old Testament, spooky stuff. Because I'm just like, oh, this is telepathy. This is something that So there were insinuations, but it's still a surprise. Right. Still, whatever.
He came down.
Right, and then. So yeah, wow. But no, each one's surprising. The crucifixion was surprising.
Right.
No one saw that coming, and then of course no one he said it or whatever. But I mean, the third big surprise in the story, as if you haven't been reading your whole life, the third surprise is the resurrection.
He rose.
Yeah,
came back.
And that's.
He was like, I took a nap. It
was just a 3-day nap, bro. I was a little sleepy. I'm back.
What would you do if you had nails in your arms and
in your feet?
I was whipped almost to death. I mean,
literal crown of thorns on your head.
Yeah, and so
stabbed with a spear.
I hope that this
came out.
Yeah, dude. I hope this makes sense. But I want to be.
I want everybody to understand that the Bible will never make sense if you don't know how to make it sense to you.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
so what I would say is. So okay. What I would say is, from my understanding, is that he was not surprised at the crucifixion. Right. He saw that coming. Right. He thought it through. Mm-hmm.
Was he scared? For sure.
Yeah. But what they didn't see coming, I don't think they knew that this was going to happen. They did the flogging first.
Right.
I don't think he knew that.
Yeah. He didn't know how bad he was going to get beat.
Yeah. The flogging part, I think, was a surprise for everyone. Because I think he knew he was going to get crucified. I think he was a lively guy with that was the Son of God or whatever,
Yeah.
And so
Christ himself.
Yeah. But maybe I don't think I'm wrong in saying that he did not foresee the flogging. I think that's an agreed upon.
Right.
I think.
I mean, right before all of that happened, I mean, he was in the garden praying.
Yeah.
Like no other time that he's ever prayed before. I mean, people don't understand that either. Is that Jesus was praying and crying and begging and not eating, and stressing out and hypervent. Like I could see this guy walking in this garden, like walking real fast, tripping out. I mean, I know what my anxiety feels like.
Oh, I got you. So, if we were to dissect the actual human interpretation, like the human within Jesus Christ,
right? It's very sad.
Like, I mean,
they recognized him as
visualized it, you were about to, what I mean?
So
the trials you'd be going.
Let me ask, even so, it's just or I just had a thought, so it's just maybe they saw God in him. But they didn't see the human.
Right.
Yeah, so at the end, he's God. He's got it.
They focused on the God.
Because if you think about it, all these stories before this happened, right? He rose a man from the dead. He made a blind woman see, right? A blind man.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
he rose a kid from the dead. He was like, rise up from that.
Cripple
it's going to be all right. The leprosy was like, don't even worry about it. But in this exact moment, the moment that he knew he was going to die, he was in the garden. Or, when he got crucified, he was in the garden and he was tripping out like
he was being
he
a
lost
human.
his corporation. He lost $50 million, Right. As a human, you would try to understand.
Dude, I gotta, okay, I don't know, man. It's that, I think dude, it's so weird because I think, how do I say it properly? It's just odd that we don't say it. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew the whole time.
Yes, he knew.
And so it's just
end.
That's I think if you ask him what he was aiming at.
Right.
He was aiming at the crucifixion, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying example.
Yeah, man went through some serious trials.
Even if he knew. Like there's things that we know as human beings, like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the day before, we're like, oh,
Absolutely.
gotta do it.
Yeah.
And like that, like you said about the people forgetting that he was a human, like he was an actual human being.
Yeah, dude, that's
like,
so crazy.
He knew that he was going to, but the action of actually doing it, like he couldn't cop out. Like he
Seriously.
Yeah,
couldn't back out of it. He couldn't. He didn't have
I
a
don't know that
safety
it could've.
harness or nothing.
I don't. Yeah, it was pretty. The time was narrowing down. The guards were there. Yeah, he couldn't have. Wouldn't that be? Whoo! Don't say that. But yeah, yeah. I guess that would have been on his mind. You know?
Because I mean, just like walking around that garden and praying and stressing, but well, I could just like kind of like leave.
Can you not? He says it. He says, "Can you not?"
He
says, "Can you not do this? Can you not do the thing with the cup?" Yeah. So you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Which is
He
like
says
crazy
that,
because nobody talks about this. Nobody,
yeah.
they just say God prayed and then he got or Jesus prayed and he got crucified. And
Jesus
boom.
just prayed, cried a little bit, and then took his
that's
death.
good.
But
That's
no,
deep.
yeah,
That's a deep.
it is deep because we talk about all the time. You know, I mean, it's like a big. It's almost like a trend or whatever. But everybody of this generation, they love to talk about so much that like we are currently going. It's like a self-realization type thing,
Right.
self-awareness. Like we are currently undergoing the human being experience.
Right.
We're the
Right.
only creatures that go through this experience. And so it's like, you know, we know that we're going to die, so we're going to get this human experience. That's why we feel emotions. That's why we
Right.
feel compassion. That's why we feel empathy, all that stuff, because we're human. So it's like if you were to say, okay, well, God, like a literal God,
Right.
was also it's kind of like a you could say like a trial, like a game. You could say like, okay, what you have to undergo, although you're like, you know, whatever dimensional being of a God that you are, the Son himself of the Almighty Creator,
Right.
you're also going to undergo the human experience.
Right.
And so that comes with, you know, the genuine feelings, the knowledge that of your path.
Right.
Specifically, this dude had something we didn't even have. He
Yeah.
knew exactly what was going to go down and stuff, and then he literally had to face it, and he had to face it as a human being.
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus wept. Jesus was angry. Jesus, you know, there's things that Jesus had not opinions. His personality came out. You know, as a human being, people cry. Humans cry. Humans get angry. You know, humans are humble. Humans are
emotions.
peaceful.
It's the difference between when it is there and when it isn't. You know, with the Quran or you know the Buddhists. That's you know, I don't even think they want to claim it as a religion. I enjoy Buddhism. I had a pastor who was Buddhist. Oh goodness, how
it's a very distinct description for that.
Oh
man.
goodness, that is a rough one. But I mean, that was my mentor for a bit.
Right.
And so it was a guy who was teetering atheism, you know, in his own words.
Was
Wow.
teetering atheism before
was
or
on
after this?
right, because there's a way to interpret scripture, and I don't think it serves the whole story very well, type thing. But there's a way to interpret scripture that, you know, as a political narrative, and so he would do that,
Right.
and it was good.
Right.
It was good, and I didn't disagree.
While being a pastor,
Yeah.
he was,
Yeah.
you know, like taught sermons every Sunday,
Yeah.
worked with the
You
church.
can be level-headed and know that the things that you say can be put in terms of what is happening now.
Because I think it's at least that. So I didn't ever really have a problem with him doing that, because I think it's at least a political narrative that's useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going way deep, and it always happens on the podcast.
That's what
I don't know why I
happens.
keep on saying we go in deep, like it doesn't happen anyway.
You branch off. That's
Yeah, we
just
branch off.
You do it.
So
you
you
just
know,
do it.
as a kid, you're growing up about, let's say, about like teen years. How's that going for you? Is it the same, or are you trying to find yourself?
This is
or-
always embarrassing. You know? Like I
In
think
his
anybody
head,
that
in his
looks
own
back, it's
head.
just always just like, well, I didn't know what I know now. I guess. You know.
Were your parents very religious? Were they in the church? Were they a part of things?
Yeah, good question. So I was like, they were Baptist. My dad's side was Baptist.
Very strong Baptist.
Yeah, my mother's side, like I think one of them was a preacher. I mean, one was very musical. My dad's side, and my mother's side was just very charismatic. Just you know, kind of odd stories that you would get or whatever.
Right.
That were very charismatic. And what was your question? I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Were your parents very big in the church community?
Oh,
very
they
religious?
took me to a Methodist. I ended up with Methodist.
Oh, wow.
From a Baptist. So I mean, it's kind of, you know, that's
I was
weird.
Christian.
That's
I was
odd.
Christian and Methodist.
Okay, just like non-dom.
Yeah, I have my story. We'll talk about.
Oh,
that
dude,
later.
I would love to.
I want to get to you. I want to get to you though.
Gotta get you first.
I'm completely fine with that. Yeah. But no, I was me and Jacob were talking, and it was me trying to figure out what I described you in the phone before we came.
Right.
It's just like man, boy, male boy
Viking
and I was just
man.
like Mel boy. That doesn't.
Mel boy,
yeah, it was
man.
Mel boy Viking man, but I was just like Mel boy. No, it's Paper Boy because Paper Man doesn't make sense.
Paper
I mean,
boy.
hey, Paper
Paper
Man
boy.
does actually sound
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah. Paper
Man.
Boy Viking man.
Paperboy
Yeah.
Viking man.
But
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Paperboy Viking man. Yeah,
Yeah.
You look very, very Viking.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Hawaiian Viking.
Yeah.
going
I
on.
kind of I've been very busy, and this podcast I was excited for. And then I had another podcast today, and he's the first ever. I want you to understand this. You're the first ever guy to actually bail out on a fucking podcast.
Wow, the first? Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You told me that he just didn't show up,
Yeah, he
but
just
I
didn't
wasn't
show up.
aware.
He was the first guy to bail out on a podcast.
First
Man.
one.
The
No
thing
call,
is,
no show, or was there like a?
he told me he was gonna make it maybe he was already an hour late, and then he told me he was gonna make it an hour after he was supposed to be here.
What a
So yeah,
doo-doo head.
but yeah, my time is very valuable because I even on a Sunday, my Sundays I got home at 8 this morning,
Ooh,
and so
yeah.
I woke up
Yeah,
for
you're
that
nocturnal,
podcast, and then it
Yeah.
didn't happen. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna dress up a little bit. I'm gonna feel
Looks
comfortable.
nice.
I'm gonna do
I
this.
dig it.
I'm gonna take
I
a
dig it.
shower.
What's the shirt say? World Tour.
Yeah, well, it's Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd World
Oh,
Tour.
so
Pink
cool.
Floyd World Tour of
Yeah.
'87.
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
hell
the
yeah.
bag.
yeah, the fanny
Oh,
pack.
show that.
You gotta have the fanny.
Always
Look
have
at
the
that,
bag.
dude.
Always
But
have
I
the
was-
bag.
That's great.
I looked at Jacob and I was like, he's dressed for Sunday.
Yo,
and then I
yeah.
looked at you. I didn't see you without the jacket, but you're dressed for Sunday.
To fix the tie. I forgot to fix the
Yeah,
tie.
y'all are
Yeah.
y'all are
What am I
matching. I was like,
doing?
no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
You got a couple Mormons up in here.
Exactly. I'm so glad he got. He did.
Thank you for the compliment.
Thank
Yeah,
you, sir.
dude, those are well structured. Those are well, like I've never. They're just impressive.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they're just impressive,
They're-
well put together.
They're they're crazy, man. I mean, crazy in a good way. They're fun. I think.
I
they're
think
fun.
so.
Mormons.
too.
Oh man, dude, when I lived in Oklahoma for 6 or 7 months or something like that, and it was it was a tiny town. It was another small town, but there were these 2 Mormons, and they blew my freaking mind. I always made sure I waved at them every chance that I got, because
Right.
I lived on one end of town, and I literally worked at the complete other end of town at a Wendy's, and I remember I would leave for work, and I would drive by those 2 in my little neighborhood, because they do their thing. They go door to door. They do, they do you, but they stay out walking all the time. And I remember after
Did you talk
I remember
with them?
a couple times.
Good.
And I remember after 2 hours, and this happened several times, I would pass them on my way to work and see them doing their thing. And then after 2 hours, after already being at work,
Right.
they would stroll in and get a drink or something. I'm like,
Nice.
man, they're just still on their feet. And then
they're just
I
still
would
doing it.
I would get out of work and I would take a different route home, and I would see them on the other side of town walking still.
That's crazy. Dedication.
I need,
Dedication
I talk
for
to Mormons some
sure.
too. It's just for the most part, we have the same book.
Yeah.
So it's I guess that's
it's-
a lot
yeah,
of
that
a lot of
helps.
inf-
That
yeah.
helps. Excuse me.
For your parents were really big in the church, very religious.
No, kind of not.
No, kind of not.
Kind of not.
Okay.
Yeah, just very. I don't know.
An acquaintance with the church, but not hard.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha. The reason I say that
if any church, I don't know that my father was the hardcore tither, so which but yeah, I don't think when it came to
They just went
financial
to church.
donations, my dad was the
first
yeah.
one
I
on
don't
the
think
scene.
he was the one.
they just
yeah.
went to church. They were just church goers. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
Okay.
about half the time.
Well, that's good.
Oh,
you
I
know.
love church camps. Church
Yeah.
camps are
Okay, yeah, no, church camps were a whole
micro
nother freaking
weird
story.
weird microcosm of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
a whole
Did
nother.
Did you go to any
verse.
church
Oh,
camps?
yeah.
Oh, let's talk about
Dude,
it. Okay,
okay.
you first. Start
Church
with
camp
talking.
experience.
Yeah,
Man, whenever I started doing church camp, a lot of people don't know this, but I used to be very goth. I was a goth kid.
Oh,
nice.
a Gotha church.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
goth.
So you had a stance every
Well,
time
not
you went
only
to church.
that, I was 6 years. Well, whenever I was a teenager, about 12 years old to 15.
Uh-huh.
So, but I was playing the drums since I was 6. I was a drummer for the church that I grew up in for a long
Nice.
time. So whenever I turned 13, I was trying to find myself.
Non-denominational? What church was it?
It was a Christian church, non-denominational, I guess you could say.
Christian church.
And what year were you born?
1995.
Okay,
Nice.
so I can see the timeline.
Yeah.
Good
being
job.
of that
Early
age.
2000s, you know.
So I know your
Butterfly
music
Effect,
type
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So your influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Time
get it. I
traveling. Yeah,
totally
look
get
at
it.
this guy.
With
So-
you. Okay.
So whenever, you know, I got of age to like go to church camps and stuff, you know, I was a goth. I had a mohawk. It was dyed blue.
Yeah,
I was the only.
Bleep it.
Jacob,
Sorry.
That's all right. I had to bleep one of mine too. I said that for too. It's fine. We're not taking tallies.
Oh yeah. Thank you for that new technology.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
That's do I need to see if it works again?
If you want to.
Okay, let me do it.
Okay.
Let me do it. Monkey piss. No, I think you. That
say
one you could
piss.
probably.
You could say
yeah.
piss.
Yeah. Piss. Can you say piss?
Say piss.
Say,
If we're sticking
it's
to the
just kind of
if we're
tacky.
sticking to
It's
the
like
PG
you can
13
talk about what comes out
I-
You can talk about what makes piss.
urination.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It wouldn't be
Well,
like the
urination?
scientific. Yeah, you're urinating. Yes.
Well, but you talk about the
Urinating.
part, the member of what it pees out. That's a bad word.
Oh, the organ that
Yeah.
enacts
Oh,
the
but the
transaction.
street-
Well, no,
street
no.
term.
Guys, the thing is,
Street term, yeah.
Well, yeah. I think we're all. I think it's okay that I that I am an individual.
Yeah.
A person, like I am a person that that embodies or consists of a penis. That's
But we're talking about the straight term.
We're talking about
which one?
The
Oh,
four
yeah,
letter
yeah. Oh,
the four letter word.
But I just that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes,
Well,
there
no,
you go.
yeah, because, well, no, I know somebody
100%.
named Dick. I can do that,
Oh.
right?
That's true, and it's
That's a
also
name.
like a
You
little
can do that.
subsidized of Richard.
Surely, yeah, Richard. It's
What
short for
about pussy?
Richard. Oh, that one's definitely pertaining.
I remember Family
to,
Guy did a little bit
to
on
the-
it because
to
Should I say
he
the
said
C word?
he said pussy
Oh,
willow.
you could be
talking about a
Okay.
cat. You
All
could
right.
be with
the
a cat.
C word.
You could-
Now I
Were you
know
talking about a cat? That
all
becomes
throughout-
so that's the.
I know all throughout the 2000s, like that was the especially like in the UK, that's like the number one biggest absolute no. Like
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
even
yeah, it
that's
does make
worse.
sense
That's
that the
worse.
British-
Actually,
than
in the
what-
UK now,
Yeah.
they actually say it more, and Americans are more offended
really?
about the
It
C
switched
word.
now. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Oh, please
How did
don't.
it
Please
change?
don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that one. That was
Yeah.
a rough one. I've probably said it before, but it's like, yeah, it's definitely. I don't know. That one's just a rough one.
That one's a big one.
That
Yeah,
one's a big
100%.
Jacob, say the N word, dude.
Oh no!
Whoa, whoa,
Okay, I can't.
whoa.
I can't. Jacob, if you wouldn't say it in
100%.
prison, if you wouldn't
You're
say it in
right.
prison, you
Well,
don't say it.
I'd say it
That's
in
a
the
good
pod
rule.
that I was in
That's
when I
a
went to
good
jail,
rule.
but-
All right. Let's get back to
Woo!
the story.
So we were talking
I'm
about
scared.
what was it?
Oh,
we were
goodness.
church camps. Is that what we were on at the current moment? Okay, church
Yeah.
camps.
Yeah, church
So I
camps.
go to church camp, and
'Cause you were a drummer with a mohawk.
I was a drummer with a mohawk, and a lot of people
Beautiful.
thought I was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
As one.
I mean, I
It's
love
labeled
church
as.
camp because obviously I got away from my family and stuff, and I got
Right.
to have a little vacation.
It was that vacation
Yeah.
type of feeling.
So,
I loved it.
But the thing is with me is like I grew up inside of a church. Like
The drummer.
I was a drummer, and my dad was the sound guy. You
Oh.
know? So like we were involved,
Heavily
you know,
integrated and
heavily, yeah.
involved. Yeah.
So whenever I would go to church camp, it was just a regular like, oh, we go to church service and we
course,
play
of course
music,
you
and
go
then
to
it's all
church camp.
over, and you know.
Every day.
But yeah,
Was it
I-
emotional? Did they really key with the emotions? Did they really-
Growing up, like getting more mature, maybe like my older teen years, probably like 18, 19 and stuff, I got a little bit more emotional. But like other than that, like you know, I saw everything, bro. I've seen everything. I've seen.
Oh, have you? What? Yeah. What? Tell us. Yeah.
I've seen like I don't know. Are we talking about spiritual
I don't know.
stuff?
I
or-
don't know. Yeah.
Within the church,
you've
whatever.
probably seen,
You don't have
to-
I bet you've seen some things.
Yeah, I've seen
no,
some stuff,
okay,
but I've also
sure.
seen the dark side. Of
How the
movie.
church like works.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
We can do that. Let's.
At this point, I mean, it's shared. It's sharing experience
Right.
via experience.
But
and
I want to
stuff,
know
so-
about you first.
Oh,
what do you want to
bro.
know? Yeah. What do you want to know?
I want to know. I just so you grew up right, and you're in your teen years, and you know you're
Wild,
getting
crazy.
more mature where you can move on with your own life, and you know getting out of the house and stuff. Are you sticking with the
Oh, I can't.
religious
Yeah.
walk?
Good question. Yeah. Well, I came here So I lived in this town for a long time.
To Canyon.
So I went to college in Canyon, then I graduated from Canyon, and then I became like a monk. I became a monk, a Christian monk, I would say, but I was actually a janitor.
Yeah.
But I was doing.
Were your parents okay with that?
No, of course. I mean, of course, everybody's worried. Type, oh, you get a job.
You're a janitor. But,
yeah, I mean,
but it was really cool. He
of course.
worked as part of the janitorial services at the WT campus.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Well,
I mean,
that's fine. No, I'm talking
Yeah,
about were
it
your
was-
parents okay with you being a Christian monk?
Oh, a Christian monk. Oh, I mean,
Because
bear in mind,
a lot
like,
of people
it's-
don't understand when you have religious family members like that, like
Right.
whenever you stir away from what they have believed and you do something else, they don't care about your job. They don't care about who you're married to. They care about, do you believe in God the way I believe
We'll
in
see.
God?
What's,
I
what's
remember
some,
Alan Watts was a bit of a concern.
What's
or whatever,
somewhat
but
of
too
an
much.
important noteworthy whatever mention that kind of heavily affects the dynamic is Roper is heavily, and I mean this pure black and white. Roper was the black sheep of the family.
Oh, yeah.
He comes from
Is it that obvious?
he comes from a very punchy family, a cowboy.
Oh,
They're
okay.
all you
Cowboy
grew up
church
with
stuff.
animals, yeah.
Not cowboy
Not too much
church,
cowboy church,
but,
exactly,
It's just
but
like, yeah, it's a
ranchy.
little bit of, it's a little bit of like, for, oh goodness, like it's just like some, how do you say that? It's just like, it's easier to have conversations sometimes with other people. I don't
Right.
know.
Like
That's
a complete stranger
Sometimes
or
it's
a
a little bit.
hobo.
Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. Perhaps that's the case. Yeah. Well, I remember like going on. See, it like okay, just yeah. Since you're
Everyone should
asking,
walk to
you're
Emmaus.
asking questions like this, so I'll answer a question. I would, selfishly go on vacation with my parents and my family. So it's just like what a privilege, everything like that. But and then there would kind of be like. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't like the worst thing that you could, but whatever. But their kind of narrative about the homelessness, like I'm just like, well, it's not accurate. It's not an accurate estimation of faith in the system. Like most of those people are dealing with mental disabilities. One dude didn't have fingers. He didn't have fingers. So where's he gonna work?
Roper specifically.
Where's he
set
gonna
out
work? He
and
didn't
got
have
some-
fingers.
He got some experience.
And
with
so
homeless
like
people.
and so I was just like, my gosh, like just and it that I knew that some of the narratives that I grew up with that like it's just like, well, that as most people come to experience, then
Right.
it's just like oh, well, that was inaccurate. So I'm sure a lot of people grew up with inaccuracies.
Right.
But I'm just like, yeah, that probably wasn't the most accurate
Because they wanted to put like just pray for him. It's going to be all right. Everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to. And you're like, there has to be.
There's a way out. There's
system.
just so much. They just know
They're not
that
helpless
he could,
here.
That he
Yeah.
could that they could do. They just for somebody to know that they could do better. It's just
Right.
like
It's
okay,
like
that's
you are
maybe not.
exercising their helplessness by just saying, "Oh, pray for them and move on." You know what I mean? Like,
Well, and I gotta say at this point, like it's just like that again, my family was the ones that were like gave him crackers, gave him water, stuff like that. So I mean, like so it's like at the same time, like they did the thing that they had to do, but you're putting me in a really vulnerable place. But
Very
yeah, I
sorry.
mean that's
What this podcast is for.
But yeah, some not always in my life the most accurate assessments of how phenomena comes to be.
Right.
And so, yeah. So
So you grow you're in this position now, and you kind of do you stay with this this I guess belief system. I don't like to say religion because I don't believe in religion, but this belief system, this walk, this path that you have created for yourself. Yeah, are you still walking that path?
we're now onto your belief system.
Yeah, now we're on to your belief system.
So, like, give us the disclosure as to where you're sitting right now, and remember,
Right.
you're representing
Oh,
Bible
yeah, I
time,
forgot.
and
Uh,
we'll
it's-
talk about the shift and your thoughts on it.
goodness.
This is a
Yeah.
good
Okay,
segue
yeah.
into it. So give it to us.
oh goodness. Maybe I should start off with the negative first. Can I get some? Oh my goodness! Can I get?
Actually,
Why? Oh, I'm
let's
so
take
sorry.
a
Can I
break.
get some more water? Okay.
Let's take a break.
I'm gonna get some water,
We're gonna get
and
some
then
water.
we're gonna do
Great
things.
transition.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into it.
We're going to take a little bit of break. We're going to listen to this praise and worship band called the LWC Music. They're on Spotify. They are on YouTube as well. I found them looking through a wiki page of like praise and worship bands
Praise
that
and
are
worship
upcoming.
bands, so
And
what you could find.
and this is it, and we're going to listen to You Won't Let Go by them. It's U-Y-O-U, won't, W-O-N-T, let, L-E-T, go, G-O, by
Honest.
LWC Music. Their stuff will be up here. And here we go. We're going to take a little bit of break. See you in a minute.
Cool.
If it'll play. There it goes.
There is a light that guides us home. There is a hope that restores my soul. There is a healing that makes us whole. You are. You are my peace when the waves are drowning. You are my strength when all hope is lost and my situation won't take you by surprise. We trust in you, the God of my rescue. We trust in you. When the earth gives way, we trust in you. And we know you won't let go. You won't let go. You are my peace when the waves are drowning. You are my strength when all hope is lost and my situation won't take you by surprise. We trust in you, the God of my rescue. We trust in you. When the earth gives way, we trust in you. And we know you won't let go. You won't let go. You won't let go. And my soul, don't be afraid. The one who calms the water knows me by name. And my soul, don't be afraid. The one who calms the water knows me by name. When I call, you will answer. You draw me close. You won't let go. When I call, you will answer. You draw me close. You won't let go. When I call, you will answer. You draw me close. You won't let go. We trust in you, the God of my rescue. We trust in you. When the earth gives way, we trust in you. And we know you won't let go.
And we're back. That was You Won't Let Go by LWC Music. Oh, and Maddie Whittaker.
Check them out.
That's Maddie, MADDIWHITAKER. Whittaker? Maybe it's Whittaker.
Whittaker sounds
Nice.
Yeah.
Names are
Maddie,
hard, bro.
yeah,
names are hard
Names are
because
tough.
they're so specific, especially these days.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But we were talking about your path as of right now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, I think it was kind of a lead up into what kind of happened and how I ended up. Oh goodness! Ask a specific question because
Okay.
like, it is difficult to know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've done some things. You know, stuff like that.
So you've done some things. You can talk about them. You cannot talk about them, but you've done some things.
I can.
And after those things,
Talk about your adventures in Austin. I'm talking about
adventures in Austin.
but like I'm talking like the homelessness, like that type of research, all that
Okay.
stuff.
oh, so
Yeah.
you're really big on this whole homeless, like
Dude,
really.
it was-
honestly.
Get a
Yeah.
load of what he did, man.
Oh well, I didn't do what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was in Austin. It's a little bit nuanced, but not completely. It's that telling people to not understand, not be under an underpass.
Yeah.
And so they're homeless. That's where they want to be. They're not in any type of danger. I wasn't. I hung out under the underpasses when I went to Austin, and I enjoyed it, and it was fun talking with them. And I thought that if they had like a porta potty set up, and they'd go to the potty in the porta potty, and they
Right.
just hang out, give each other sandwiches, just like I was like, okay, this is a thing that just like good for them,
Right.
in this little ecosystem. The cars going around, no one's gonna like. It's just like it's not that dangerous. I was just like, you know what? How neat! I'm happy that this is a thing. And then for somebody to see something negative in that, that generally speaking, those are very good little networks of places for people in that situation to get themselves straightened out. They're like not going to get mugged. They're safe there. They're worried about their own safety.
Right.
And for somebody to look at them and perceive them as a threat for being under an underpass, I'm just like, well, that's weak. Like, it's just like, that's unfair. It's unfair.
Right. 100%. 100%.
Thanks, yeah.
The homeless population here in America is outrageous, and I know it's outrageous for
At
every
least
other.
let them stand where they want.
Yeah.
They're already homeless.
Yeah.
Seriously, like the fact that people will literally get fined if they're in a designated location
Yeah.
for a specific amount of time, or like
To the point where
literally-
you
so
say
they're making
like
money
porta
off of it.
potties that they don't
Yeah,
have
which
porta
seemed like
potties
me
or
the
anything.
right thing to do. Yeah,
You said that you-
Austin went the right direction for a while by just like, here's a porta potty because what would Jesus do?
Right,
My
that's
goodness,
what
like
It's not that hard.
No, sometimes it's really not, and it's just like that one's kind of spelled out. It's just like give them the porta potty, let them hang out there. Don't mess with them.
Right.
Like like they're not stabbing people is illegal. When they stab someone, deal with it then.
Yeah.
Let them stand under an overpass.
Like a regular person.
But nobody's gonna get stabbed. That's the thing.
The cops are not
They're
at my
fine.
house looking at me, hoping that I don't stab somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And what's the reason for that? Simply just because you have a house.
Right.
Yeah,
But then when I do stab somebody, the cops show up, and that should be used for everybody on this planet.
Right.
I think it's fair to say that there's a version of each one of us that shifted over a little bit.
Yeah.
Is a homeless person.
Probably.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
doing
not
what.
that
Yeah.
incredibly. It's not. It's always not that far away.
Really,
Right.
you said that you came across somebody that like they were choosing to stay like in an abandoned building for like several years. Like there was a building that was completely
guy.
unoccupied.
that was neat. That was a dude in Austin who had a bar. He had a bar with like hard liquor and whatever.
Right.
All throughout this, he lived in a bar, and I was just like, I felt bad for myself. Like there's this super cool guy living in an abandoned bar over the 6th Street bars in Austin.
Yeah.
And I got a good look at myself from that. I was just like, this guy's got it. This guy's got, like I do not feel bad for this guy.
Right.
He had a staff he'd walk around with, like all cool like.
Yeah.
And had like a robe.
Had a raccoon,
I was just like, I met a Bible character.
possum on his shoulder, and he
Yeah, he had a possum.
Like
the
a
birds
genuine.
came and-
There was an owl there.
Not
Yeah, I
the main
think there was
character
an
in the
owl.
story, the wise character
wise
in the
one.
story.
Straight
Yeah,
up. Yeah, I felt bad for myself.
I mean,
after
like,
that. Yeah,
so
it was-
so you say that you felt bad for yourself. Does
Yeah.
that kind of like show, like, you know, that guy had what he needed?
He had
and
it made, yeah.
In
That
his
guy was
mind,
fine.
he had it all, and that's
He
all you
was,
needed.
yeah.
And people overindulge in these things, and it's like you sit there in an abandoned liquor or abandoned bar, and you're like,
I don't
this
think he
is
drank
all-
too much. Oh, and the cool part about it was he felt bad for drinking it, so he didn't drink it that much. Hard
Right.
liquor everywhere, and it was like, would drink it, you know, kind of responsibly or whatever.
Right.
Feeling bad, you know, that he would drink too much.
That's crazy.
He would get his own hard liquor from 7-Up, you know, and
Right.
would do it that way. You know, instead of using the bars. So I was just like, gosh, who did I meet? Did I meet like what Old Testament biblical character is this fellow that I just ran into? Yeah,
Do you
and
think
I feel
that, like, the
similar
whole
with yeah.
Bible is it like that? Or it's just like these weird characters that somebody's met, and they're like, I want to put them in a better light than they look anyway.
Yeah.
So we have Paul, and Paul's this guy, but actually Paul is.
Paul's the guy that would have crucified. Oh, I think he's so close to being the guy who would have done it. It's pretty much like, I think that's the point of the story. It's just like, here I am. I'm the guy that, you know, so I mean, like, it's kind of like, well, everything that he says, you know, really think into it, you know,
Right.
really, that's who that character's supposed to be. He's like
Right.
the Snapey whatever
Go
or
deep,
whatever.
yeah.
You know, it's just like he's admitted that he's the guy that would have taken out Christ, more or
Yeah.
less. He was crucifying Christ. So it's like whenever we listen to Paul, like, heaven forbid we be a little bit, you know, thoughtful or
Yeah,
something
I mean,
like
one of the
that.
craziest characters in the biblical sense is John the Baptist. I feel
Oh,
like.
goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John the Baptist was out there.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
And like,
yeah.
and it's crazy
of
that
bird, you remember?
we look at those people like John the Baptist and be like, what the, this guy's off his rock.
Oh, like
but
some
John the
animal
Baptist,
fur and bugs.
yeah, like
bugs.
Jesus was like, yeah, bro, that's my homie.
That's
That's my
the
dude.
guy.
the guy.
Yeah,
Like, didn't
That's
John the
the
Baptist?
guy.
Didn't he?
It's
ascend?
very much a story of revolution. It's very much a story. Yeah, I don't know.
I think John the Baptist.
Oh, I got
did ascend.
no. This is what I remember, which might be something different. Is that they thought people were thinking this, so it's just like, you know, and so it's important that people thinking it. They thought that when John the Baptist died, Jesus had, you know, taken on John the Baptist. He'd taken on his ghost.
Really?
That's what people thought. People kind of thought that way.
Wow.
You know, one person could transfer into another. You know,
Right, right,
and so
right.
yeah, they were thinking for a bit that John the Baptist had moved into Jesus. You know,
Wow.
and
That's
it just
crazy.
all it says is that I don't think it really even explains a diagnosis on what that means.
Right,
But
right.
It did say that people were thinking that.
Okay, so you said that you were when in the years that you were over here and stuff, you were like a Christian monk.
Yeah.
Sure,
So, and
sure,
then,
yeah.
So what?
You went so
what
you were a
was
Christian
the-
monk.
I was
you went to
weeping.
Austin.
I was weeping and I was crying and I was laughing and I would walk around. I guess I'm repenting or whatever, but I would be at work and I wouldn't have to work the whole time, whatever, you know. And so I would get my job done and then I would, you know, I lived right over there, so I would do both. But so I got a lot of time to think, and it was very odd because there's, you know, it would have been diagnosed as a psychological condition, but it was something to where I was crying and weeping and smiling and laughing a lot, just super manic, just
Right.
very, you know, which is just like a trigger. It's just like, you know, it's just like that's, you know, that is manic depressive disorder, diagnosed 100%. But that is also what a lot of Christian monks say they experience.
Right.
So
It's
two-parter question is, if there is one, what was the transition from that to where you stand now, and where do you stand
Yeah.
now?
So you
Where
were
are
a
you
Christian
at
monk.
now?
You dealt with this situation where you find yourself doing the things that you did. You go to Austin
Yeah. I
and you
did,
come
yeah.
here. There's more stories to that part. You said you've done things, whether that be good or bad.
Yeah, good, bad, or good.
Chaotic neutral.
What is that?
That
That's
is a
my
parakeet.
Oh my goodness! How did I miss those? Those
Yeah.
are fantastic.
Oblivious.
Yeah. My zebra finches.
But yeah,
They
yeah.
bring the aura to the podcast.
Maybe it was out of guilt. Maybe
Yeah.
it was out of guilt for having been the wrong type of person what I said whenever I went to Austin and I laid over-the-counter medication from Colorado on the steps of Austin, what I said was it's just like, if you have ever smoked weed, even a little bit, it's just like, this is what we should be doing. This is the system of, and I gain some of my arrogance in thought or whatever by studying and adhering to
So
a
at this
structure.
moment,
It's low-hanging fruit, people.
Yeah.
It's low-hanging fruit because it's just like, okay, we have evidence of systematic corruption. We know how to diagnose this with the Gospels. It's like, this is low-hanging fruit. This is just like, this is easy. We like, this is 5th grade level stuff, Like, just like and so I. And so I feel like some people are like they ask, should you have done that? Is kind of the idea,
right?
And I'm just like, should you not?
Roper did.
Right.
Why not do what? Should you not do that?
Right.
Like So I'm just that's just.
So let me get this straight so that I'm not confused. The systematic thing that you're talking about is either take these medications or smoke marijuana.
What the medication is marijuana.
Right,
The medication is marijuana.
So I think the idea is that you good. The idea is that a Schedule I substance, when
Marijuana.
using the truth,
Right.
is not
Mushrooms.
is not a Schedule I substance.
Right.
That marijuana
Really?
does
Yeah,
not.
by
So
the definition.
right.
I mean, like
And so
in
what you have,
truthfulness.
is you have officers and people under authority who are acting in lies, because a medicinal substance cannot be a Schedule I substance.
Yeah,
Right.
And
you
so
should
it
explain
can't
what you
be.
did,
Right.
how you
because
made
of
the purchase, and you
because
went,
it explains what a Schedule I substance is.
Actually,
Yeah.
let me look up something
Oh,
real quick.
are you looking up Schedule I substance?
I'm gonna look up a medication and see if it is a Schedule One.
Gotcha. See,
It's weird because
Roper purchased.
the federal government does consider it. It's a felony everywhere, even if you're in Colorado. So if you're in Colorado and you're selling it,
Oh yeah,
you're
at that
still
point
breaking
it becomes,
federal
it becomes
law.
Federal law, yeah. When you're distributing without
That's
the
crazy.
license and all that
That's
stuff.
crazy, yeah.
Roper went to Colorado and made a legal purchase of some marijuana, and
Yeah.
then took it to the capital of Texas, which was Austin, and bestowed it upon the front doorsteps. And what you handcuffed yourself to the.
That was the first time.
Yeah,
yeah,
you had it in his pocket.
Yeah.
As like a statement, because it was a Schedule I substance. Had it in his pocket, and then handcuffed himself to the doors of the Capitol.
And
Yeah.
and I kind of just expected that to be it. I was just kind of like, you're going with me. I guess it's kind of the idea.
yeah, like as like a
It's
point.
like you,
proving,
yeah.
you're
This
proving
is
a
like
point.
this is where the guilt is. You know.
We're gonna do two extremes. We're gonna go to one extreme to the next, and we're gonna say marijuana is a Schedule One, right?
There's no scientific evidence.
There's no scientific
Oh, yeah.
evidence.
The fact is like it not only. Oh, it's so crazy because if it were neutral, it would not be a Schedule I substance. If it were just a neutral thing, but it's not even that. It's a medicine. So it's not
Right.
even a neutral
Right, 'cause
thing.
They're on-
It's
they're on
literally
both
the
fences.
thermal.
It's like, well, we use this for pharmaceutical purposes.
It is literally medicine.
This thing grows up from the ground. We use it for these things, but the government's like it's the Schedule One, yada yada yada. But the government makes a chemical called fentanyl,
Yeah.
and is on the streets and is used in medical
I don't know if the government- yeah,
medical places,
they might.
and it's considered a Schedule One.
They
That's what I'm
use it,
saying. There's
really.
there's
Use
two
it, yeah.
extremes here. One where marijuana shouldn't even be a Schedule One,
At all.
where fentanyl should be a Schedule One.
Yeah.
And why are these two things coexisting
Why
with
are
each
they
other
merged?
in this place?
Should not be in the same
contentment
category.
with lying, contentment with systems. That
Yes.
Yeah, it might be at an
They
individual
are
level. Individual levels of
okay
sin. Yeah.
with undermining whatever it may be, like liberty, truth, or, like undermining whatever it is that is morally correct,
Right.
and the complete exploitation of how could we benefit.
Right.
And that's why they're put their mask together so bad.
This
because
is just
you can-
what I do.
You can benefit if they're
This
masked
is just
together.
the thing that I do. Judges, very smart, very responsibly laden people that are just like, they have to know that they're lying. It's not, so it's just like, if you're saying that a medicine is Schedule I substance, you're doing some mental gymnastics that are lies.
You're playing
Right.
with fire. Yeah, you're definitely, you're dancing around a thing that you do not want to be dancing around.
Right.
But they don't care. Although it's something you don't want to. It's not a care.
So your stance on what you did at the Capitol and you handcuffed yourself to, because you
that's not the Then I did an Easter sermon. I did an Easter sermon after that, and it was called just an Easter sermon, and it was something about celebrating the eternal Christ and basic biblical application.
And where did you do this?
I also went back to the Capitol, and the idea is just like, okay, here's my low-hanging fruit. Here's my humble offerings of just like, this is a bare minimum. You know, this is for a Christian who are willing to get themselves crucified. Man, this is baby stuff. You know?
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you just did that. You just did it off the whim. You were outside just talking your stuff.
Yeah, you know, and it was, you know, because my mommy, you know, like, you know, it's just like, yeah.
So
to say that I was in a state of, I don't know the diagnosis of, I did actually get diagnosed, but yeah.
Mania.
It's manic episodes.
Yeah, manic episodes.
Diagnosed as manic episodes.
Psychotic episodes, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
So, religious monk.
Oh, yeah. You haven't gotten medicated. You haven't went to a
I took medicine for a little bit.
You took medicine for a little bit.
And I would encourage anyone to talk to their counselor and do that the proper way.
Yeah.
To, you know, so I mean, you can wean off. You can do it without, you know. So there's a way to do it.
MOSHCAST is very, very pro. Go to the fucking doctor and get your stuff together.
Get well.
If it doesn't work for you, then there's other ways, and if that doesn't work, then there's another way.
There's options.
Like my story is, I got diagnosed with chronic anxiety. I couldn't take care of it at that moment. I took Xanax and Celexa for a long time, for about a year. And then I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I threw them down the toilet, and now I am not cured, but I know how to control my stuff.
Yeah, on your own.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, everybody's. It would be difficult to advise others. In that, but find
out what you have first. Find out what you have for real.
Good advice. Go
and see if you can get medication for it. If you don't like it, then there's other ways.
Talk to a genuine professional that cares.
You know,
so this happens. You come back from Austin. Yeah, about this time you come back back from Austin. Yeah. Do you change your structure of your path?
Oh no, I just blame Jesus for it all.
For everything.
Yeah, I blame Jesus for that.
Yeah.
I was helped with great words of wisdom and influences of people, of pastors who really inspired me and gave me guided my footsteps in really if it were not for them, would I have done it? I don't know. Probably
done
not.
What?
Oh, what I did.
Everything that
I would listen to sermons.
Oh, gotcha.
I would listen to the sermons. It was just like, and I felt very guided.
Right. Do you feel regret in doing these things?
No. So I'm so proud of anyone that would. So, you know, I can't speak on behalf of.
I'm sorry.
Else.
I'm just like,
I can't.
I'm not trying to be confused, but it sounds like you're being very sarcastic, and I'm like,
no. I mean it. I really do mean it. You know, it's just like, so if I were, they would be doing the right thing in my estimations.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's a bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's going to the bathroom.
Good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's I guess if you have any questions on that.
No, that's totally fine. So, do you still call yourself a Christian monk, or do you go a different path? Or?
Yeah, and I would just like to say that I'm very proud of those churches. I'm very, I hold no ill will, like real ill will towards them. I really don't. Like, and it's just like, you know, if I was influenced by them, then I would have nothing but nice words to say about them for that reason. Maybe they didn't do it right. Right. But I wouldn't.
They're doing something. They're not. They might not be doing it right, but they're doing something.
Yeah. Thank goodness for them in their words, because I'm not sure what it would have been like otherwise.
Right. So then all this happens, and you're kind of just here. I guess. Has there been anything after these little trips and adventures?
Well, yeah. There's something that well, Jacob's not here at the moment, and that's fine. But it's dude, there's a book in the works that I'm working on.
Oh, nice.
Okay, well, I'll wait for Jacob, and then
I hear him coming.
Okay, there he is, right there.
Yeah, it's a Jacob.
Yeah.
Hey, we walking here.
Hey, Jacob, I was gonna mention. Okay. Well, I wanna I
apologize.
I was inspired
Yeah.
by some things in my life, So I'm writing a completely 100%, 100 without just all of it, just completely fictional, without any whatsoever, where it's not like, with no correlation. Maybe sometimes I was like, not influenced, but like
inspired.
Yeah, but that's not the that's like
No
that, that's
correlation.
not
There's
no
not a
correlation. It's not
correlation.
the same thing.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
Completely fabricated.
Yeah, right. Like, you watch something, and then maybe you could have ideas.
Yeah.
About
our vision.
yeah.
Our dream.
So anyway, so about this book, it's about
He's writing a book.
yeah, it's about a guy who begins writing a completely fictional work about about his he suspects that his pastor might be with hidden motivations. What's the word? Euthanizing various individuals at the church,
Okay.
and then this fictional character having to work through that.
Yeah.
Has just like trying to get his thoughts straight.
Okay.
Just starts writing this completely fabricated, this character, this fictional character, starts writing
See, I don't know
about this other fictional
There's a
character.
barrier. I don't know. This is not fictional. I
He
don't
starts
think.
writing about it, and he starts. So it's a fictional story about a fictional character who begins writing this fictional book.
Are we quoting? Are we
No,
putting
yeah.
quotes in these things?
Oh,
quote unquote.
I mean, yeah. Well, the thing is Jacob, like, was I sometimes like maybe like in a long stretch, in a
big stretch.
Yeah, completely. With just as an artist,
Yeah.
as an artist, that that I would have been inspired by, just that complete. No, absolutely not. 100% fiction.
Yeah.
And
So it's fictional.
yeah,
So it's fictional.
In fact,
We all know it's fictional.
100%, 100% a heartwarming tale about 100% fiction.
Got it.
Yeah.
And what's the premise?
Yeah.
Oh, that in order to deal with the overwhelming responsibility of having to deduce what might be happening, he begins this
Euthanizing
fictional.
people.
And this guy is his pastor. His pastor, maybe what's going on? What's happening here?
It kind of sounds like some things that happened a few months ago, if you know what I mean.
Oh no! Please tell me. A few months ago,
Yeah.
what happened?
The Canadians found churches that had thousands of Indigenous children buried. Under
Oh yeah,
their
that's much darker. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah. But that
That's
I was
not
like
fictional.
that's why I was like is it fictional? Like is it really fictional? Because that kind of sounds like something that
I
has
think
happened.
it might have been inspired by COVID.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
the idea that a sweeping force comes and starts taking out the elderly.
Yeah.
Perhaps with good intent. Perhaps this very complicated. Like perhaps it was allegorical for COVID.
When did you start doing Bible time?
Oh goodness, Bible time, yes. I got a tinkle here soon too. Bible time's been it's the best thing. So many, it's
It's the best thing
ever.
next to white bread, to be honest.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
What made you want to get into it?
No, dude, it's just like, my goodness. Oh goodness, how do I say this without being presumptuous? It's just like, I don't think when people read it, they're so embarrassed or so whatever. I don't think I've ever seen it done before. that when somebody reads it, they kind of get into character a little bit.
Right.
That they try to do it like how they think the character might
How
do
they
it.
would interpret it.
Yeah,
Right.
an honest
Because when you read, it does sound like just you reading.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
you
very
have-
important.
and
That's
you
very
have-
important.
But
Yeah.
you have this way of saying it like where you have a character, you
Sure.
are playing a character, but at the same time, it's like it's funny because how to say it, you're very simple, man. You're a very this person. It's my phone.
Okay,
it's
good.
my phone. let me actually no.
Good. I simple's good. Like that's.
Yeah, you're a very simple person, but at the same time, we have this.
It's very
We're having this
enticing.
podcast, and it's wild. It's out here. You know what I'm saying? But like what you do artistically is very simple. It's like you
good.
you have
I'm
a
glad
title
that
called
that's-
Bible Time, and you have a title sequence, and you sit down and you read the Bible, and like.
I've done a few sermons, and that might be the
Yeah.
wrong direction.
No,
I don't
well,
know. It might be.
but it's just as simple as that. It's like that is
Really,
that's simple, you know.
Something everyone can get.
And I'm like, so there's this coffee pot. This coffee pot has to mean something. And then you have these things in the background. I'm like, those are connection to this. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just literally like you're just doing something.
Yeah, man.
And
Did
that's
you,
it.
did you see the Kim Jong Un?
Yeah.
Kim Jong Un one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got what is it? Big fat stupid loser baby written over Kim Jong Un's face.
Yeah.
Because
And-
man, I'm just like, well, that like who is it? It's some guy that says the rejection of tyranny is obedience to God.
Right.
I think that's so much of the narrative.
Right.
So I mean, yeah.
That's
like,
great. So
screw
did
Kim
you
Jong-un,
do?
I guess
Did
It's
you
like-
do Bible Time before you went to Austin, or like was this after Austin
It was
and
after.
stuff?
It was after. But it would have been around that time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you had the mental thought of like, I'm gonna do this on.
I
on
think
the
so. I
internet.
think people needed that. Yeah,
Right,
I think
right.
it's simple. Like really, for real. Like it's just like people like being read to. I think. I think people don't mind. It's better. Almost. Well, goodness, it's better than reading. No, can't say that. You should read it on your own. But I mean, geez, just if you want to watch it too.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
It's very enticing. It's something that you can get into.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess I should advise that they read it too. I don't know, but I'm just kind of like, okay. Well,
All the pastors that I've like.
Sometimes
if
I
you
get
don't
the
got your
words wrong.
Bible, then you should be worried because I might be lying to you. Like why?
What in the hell is that?
That'd be
Like,
difficult
what
to
is-
do on Bible time. That would be really.
I could
just
be
change
lying
it up on
to
the,
you,
yeah.
you know.
If I ever have, it was.
I don't
by
know if
accident.
I've ever had pastors say that, but I've always had pastors say that to
I've
me.
heard it.
It's like, If you don't got your Bibles, then what are you doing here? I could be lying to you, and I'm like, really? That's your
Really,
that's
you
your-
shouldn't be doing that.
You
Don't
would do that?
yeah.
Like you are thinking that you're gonna lie to me right now? Like literally.
That breaks
crazy.
trust. That's
It's
how
like that's
trust
your
completely
job to not
falls.
do that. Yeah, don't.
So Roper, what is your initial stance on yourself? What is the thing that you want people to understand about you? What is your motives here? What is the things that you're trying to
Yeah,
achieve?
I want everybody to fall in love with Jesus. The eternal. Just like to see. Like I see Christ in you. I see Christ in you. To find the eternal Christ. And like.
the eternal Christ as being your like one God, or is it the God or a
Yeah,
God?
It's a rough one because they definitely want like particles or something. They want to make separation between the two. It's to say like you're Christ-like, but it's just like okay, but like okay in totality. So it's just like because it's just like you want the Christ to be eternal.
Like, yeah.
Consciously speaking.
Like Jacob is Christ-like, but also that line over there is Christ-like too.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to put that.
Jacob's beautiful too, but that
yeah.
lion.
yeah,
kinda-
line has you, dude. Yeah, I agree.
I'm just pointing out. I'm just pretending that there's no lion there. There's no lion.
Got you.
There's no lion.
Okay.
Oh, I was looking. I was thinking. I was
looking
like, "Where's
hard,
the line
man.
at?"
I was like, man, as long as
there's a
as
line
soon
around-
as I
Guess
find
there's
this
a
line,
lion
I'm
around
going to
here.
be right on page with you guys.
Oh my god! Yeah, there's no lion over there. I was just saying a
All
mental
right.
image of a lion. People say
Beautiful.
that that's
Beautiful,
Christ-like.
yeah. Oh yeah,
That was great. That was a great little
What's his
bit
face
there.
did that?
You got me
Who
good.
did that? It was what's his name? By the way, I'll just go. I gotta pee real quick.
Yeah.
I gotta say it.
Yeah.
Brock Heasley compared himself to what's his name? Not Louis C.K. That's ridiculous. I can't believe I just said that. To Louis
Armstrong.
No, I've read his stuff. What's his name? The dude that writes The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh, C.K. Lewis.
C.K. Lewis. Thank you, C.K. Lewis.
How
he's
rough.
compared himself to C.K. Lewis. He's better.
Yeah.
He's better than that. That's really what I think, and I don't even necessarily have a problem with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe or whatever. But yeah, we can talk about that when I get back from tinkling. I got a song. Do you mind if I while I tinkle we play?
Yeah.
Okay. It's I don't think there would be an issue with this, so I haven't like asked them or whatever, but I think it would be nice.
Okay.
It's Worship Song by Random Action Verb, and this song has really let me grow closer to the Lord.
What is this?
well.
What's the band name?
Random Action Verb Worship Song. I think you'll love it. I think you'll really get into it.
It really breaks down the format.
The Worship
it's
Song
very
by
smart.
Very
Random
smart,
Action
yeah.
Verb Song. I've seen them on Instagram. If you demonetize me for money, we know where your heart's at, but
Swear to God.
I swear to God. We're going to play...
I hope it works out, yeah.
We're going to play the Worship Song
And I gotta
by
tinkle.
Random Action Verb Worship, and I'll put the stuff up here. Boop, boop, boop. And let's do it.
Mutualism. Yeah.
This is the first verse of the worship song. The words are simple, so sing along long. I am terrible, but he is able. It's incredible, hope this song's relatable. Life's got me down, I'm at the end of my rope. So here's an out of context Bible verse about hope. This is the chorus, we're lifting our voices, loud and triumphant, we're singing the chorus. It's repetitive, it's repetitive, it's repetitive. All my problems are gone.
I'm a rich blonde female, singing about how I fail. When things are bad again, I am struggling. I'm a total mess, my life's a train wreck. I'm pure garbage, I need him again. Life's got me down, I'm at the end of my rope.
Here's an out of context Bible verse about hope. This is the chorus, we're lifting our voices, loud and triumphant. Amen. We're singing the chorus. It's repetitive, it's repetitive, it's repetitive. That's right, church. All my problems are gone. Sing it, church. The drums are getting louder, I'm feeling overpowered. The rushing wind and waves, they bow to you. Now I surrender, I feel a holy fire. Fire rhymes with desire. I'm about to cry and lift my hands to the sky. Chorus, chorus, chorus. Loud and triumph. Chorus, chorus with no instruments. Just the voices. Chorus, just the voices. Come on, y'all. Chorus with no instruments. Little higher. Chorus with the key change. Chorus, 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 chorus. Sloppy, sloppy kisses, singing passionate. I know I'm being vague. This song not about my ex. This song's about Jesus. This song's about Jesus. This song's about Jesus. We forgot to mention Jesus. This is the chorus. We're lifting our voices, loud and triumphant. We're singing the chorus. It's repetitive. It's repetitive. So repetitive. All my problems are.
And we're back
I don't know,
again.
this gets me.
You had to go tinkle. I had to change the battery. We did it all in one thing, and there probably will be an ad read somewhere in here too. So, bada bing.
What a
Yeah.
great song.
Great song. Yeah, both songs were good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. Oh, wow. This podcast is something else, honestly.
Yeah, it's great.
I like it.
Very
I
much
like it a
enjoyed
lot.
being here. Come to
I love it.
Canyon,
I'm glad I met you, Roper.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about this thing called The Shift.
Oh yeah,
New production.
Oh, dude.
coming
So
up. Give it
no,
us-
it's
give
straight
us
up.
a-
It's straight up just this guy. And I saw him whenever he was starting off his crowdfunding or whatever. You know, like raised $50. You know, probably a little bit more than $50.
Right.
But he had raised very little money. But let's see. The dude's like
was
he's like Mormon, and it's just like, okay. So y'all watch the animatic, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's the deal. So it's just
The
like
whole 2 hours of it.
you watched the whole interview? That was
I watched a good hour and a half of it.
Oh,
And then
dude.
right
Oh,
whenever it got to
Matt and Dan in it. Are those not the coolest people? My God.
yeah.
Dude. Yeah, dude. Straight up.
I had
amazing
had
people.
time. I was like on my route, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna watch it.
Dude,
Why
yeah.
not?
watch it all.
It's been fun. I've been following them as well. But anyways, he's how do you say something? This is like the in all technical categories, it's like super edgy.
Yeah.
There's super edgy ideas and everything like that. Like not state of the art, but like, you know, right on the precipice of like exploring information. This script is that's just like that's pushing boundaries, and then it's just like that's already like no matter who writes it, like super, you know, but
Good
I mean,
art.
yeah, but I mean, like, so super self-disciplined people,
Right.
Like, you know, sometimes don't drink coffee. So I mean, like, for this man, it's already
Like
it's
fasting.
already difficult.
Yeah.
It's already difficult to make something like that. And then what I'm saying is this guy's pushing boundaries, and it's just like you know, I don't think he gets enough credit for that because I'm like, this is actually really provocative almost.
Right.
So I mean, like.
It's dark. It's a very. Some of the situations were dark and bloody and gory. And
So what is the
Yeah.
shift, Roper? Explain what the shift is.
It's
that's
just a
upcoming.
dude that started crowdfunding. So it's just like this guy who started crowdfunding with people, and so it's Angel Studios, and Angel Studios is the one who kind of organizes the crowdfunding movement.
Right.
So it's people, they pay for what they want to see.
Mm-hmm.
So they invest it, like, you know, so like they make films and stuff. So they did the Chosen. Dallas Jenkins kind of got paired up with Angel Studios. Before then, this is why I'm excited for the Bleeps, dude. Is because funny enough, VidAngel was the platform for Angel Studios.
Right.
So VidAngel, what they do is and they're pretty funny. They're like, you know, like their business model is based on the idea of people cussing.
Yeah.
So they bleep out the cussing.
Ah.
And they portray themselves as open-minded kind of people, which I think is brilliant. But anyways, VidAngel was the company before it was Angel Studios, and Angel Studios is kind of like me just kind of like listening to it or whatever. It's like a gamble of this crazy idea of making content like that,
Right.
you know, outside of the system. So I mean, like, yeah. It's so I think that's why I'm excited to be here. Is because I'm like,
Right.
So the
this
shift
dude's outside
is
this guy's out the system.
the
Like,
shift
this
is a
guy's not-
production that is on its way, and it's grown quite a bit. Roper's been
Right.
a part of it since, like he said, it was.
I love
like,
that kind of thing,
It
yeah.
was very tiny, and
Right.
he had only raised like a little bit
Very
of money.
inspiring,
But now,
very inspiring,
Now
yeah.
it's into the hundreds of thousands. It is on its way up.
Yeah,
You
it's
said
moving
like 2 million nearly, right?
Yeah, close to 2 million.
Yeah,
So this
nearly
guy, he's-
$2 million
yeah.
in production, and they're on its way to making it to like a full length feature film.
I think it was 4
That's
million.
crazy.
Pulp Fiction was like 4 million.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
So yeah, Pulp
And I,
Fiction. was
like
4 million,
like I
think.
said, I watched the little skits or whatever you would call it. You sent me you sent me that link, and I watched it all.
Oh,
almost.
dude, what? Tell me what you thought about. I'm excited to know what
So,
you
like,
think
you
of
know-
the animatic. Yeah.
I mean, I watched the animatic and stuff, and it was interesting. But I was eager to listen to the music portion of what you're like. You need to listen to this song. You need to listen to this piece.
Oh, what'd you think? What did
And-
you think?
Even with the skit that was in with that song, you know, it was really good. It was really good. I like those. Because we were talking about Hans Zimmerman, you know,
Yeah.
and No Time for Caution for Interstellar and stuff like that. Like those were like really good songs.
Yeah, that is
It-
a good one.
It
No Time
fit.
for
I mean,
Caution.
the song that you sent me fit like in that mix of.
That's how you hear it. That's
Yeah,
how
because like I was listening to it with my headphones, and it was just like soft.
good
beginning.
headphones, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, soft beginnings, and then it got rough.
I've only listened
was
to it on a
nervous.
broken aux cord. That is like, yeah. So I who knows what it would sound like.
Right,
on a,
right.
Yeah, dude.
And it's a very nervous song. You know, it has intense. It's intense. It's nerve wracking. It's like
He gets his superpower
Yeah.
from the dead guy that he fails to rescue.
yeah,
That is
crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, not funny. It's wow.
It could be
It's
funny.
wow. It's not a. It's not. Well, it's crazy because it's the story structure of when the hero receives a superpower.
Right.
And then it's just like, well, what's that always been? That's always been a bite by a spider. That's always been like, like something
type of
heroic.
freak
and then
accident.
this guy gets it from this dead friend that he fails to rescue.
right in the hotel.
I'm like,
right.
what a way to give someone a superpower.
Yeah.
And then the music's like all ominous and, everything with it. And so like, dude, I haven't seen anything like it.
Right.
This story, just that alone. When else have you seen the superpower gained in a story from the dude that fails to rescue? Like,
Yeah.
Explain
Brilliant,
the
brilliant.
just the overview of the story of what is the
Good
goal
luck.
of the
Yeah,
movie?
it's
What's the point of it?
Oh, well, it's about a technology, and it's about a people, and I think it's about what we can do. It's about shifting and shifters and what it means. Like,
To shift into an alternate, what is it? Parallel like timeline, just different universe.
I don't know if it's something like
I don't even think they even know what it is entirely in the movie.
kind
Yeah.
of type thing. Yeah, it's. I mean, Brock's explained the technology, and like, oh goodness.
I mean, what I got from it, what I got from what I watched, it was like they knew what they were trying to do, but they only knew. And then, like in your sense of mind, you got kind of maybe what it could have been or what it
Right.
is or whatever. But even in the sense of like the whole
Like
thing that I
shifting,
watched,
they're moving,
it was
different
very
locations and-
it was very like not even knowing.
Yeah,
I mean-
it looks very freaking interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
like
so excited
movies
for it.
like
I hope they don't end up killing their actor that falls from the thing with the shoes on into the lake.
Oh right,
Hope
right.
that dude doesn't die.
Well-
Fall into water with shoes on. Like they're gonna have to
give a sense on what this movie probably is going to be.
Hope he's okay.
I don't know if y'all have ever watched Midnight Special. Have y'all watched the Midnight Special?
I have.
Oh, is that with Joe Rogan's friend?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Midnight something.
No. That's Midnight. That's Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel.
Oh,
yeah,
You're talking about Midnight
Special.
Gospel.
Seen
Midnight
that.
Special is a movie about this kid that has a superpower. Like he can tell time. He knows what the future is going to be like, and these
Gotcha.
people follow him. And it's a very occultic type feel where like there's a church community and they listen to this child.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
How old's the kid?
He's like 11.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and,
Wow.
and
That
he's
sounds
he's changed people's lives in this whole movie, but we just don't know if it is. We don't know where he got this superpower from, or
What's he doing?
he's just a kid that like just knows everything. And at
Just
the end,
knows.
and at the end, you kind of get the sense that maybe he's an alien, but we really don't know.
Sure,
and then
something. Yeah.
show up. I'm not trying to. I'm sorry if I'm sorry. I shouldn't kill the movie for everybody that.
Oh yeah.
those
Yeah.
spoilers. Yeah,
Yeah, but spoilers and stuff. But it's kind of like that where you just at the end you don't even know.
gotcha.
You
It's
don't
like
even
an-
know.
Well, that's
an
legit. That sounds like a
interpretation.
cool. I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's a really good movie. Really underrated. I think very low budget, but like one of the best movies
Oh,
I've
legit.
seen.
What's the name of it? One more time.
Midnight Special.
Midnight Special. Cool.
All right,
But that's what the shift. I think that's what the shift is.
Oh,
is
it's kind of
just-
like that. It's
Right.
like, I think it's something for, it's okay. Well, see, the thing is, well, I want to speak. Once I speak on behalf of one thing, it sounds like I'm not speaking on behalf of another thing. But I mean, like for Christians, it is exciting for Christians because I'm just like, oh, I don't think we've done this one yet. I don't think this one. This is a new one. And then, of course, I'm just kind of like, well, I don't. Why would an atheist not watch this? Why would an agnostic not watch this?
Yeah, it's like not secular, but it's just a movie.
if they don't, it's out of ignorance. It's
well,
literally out of ignorance.
Yeah, and dude, it is. I mean, shifting and all that, like multiple universe physics is so weird. There's a book called The Tao of Physics. It's just like this is weird.
Yeah.
It's just like not working like
Right.
how It's not materialistic. It's just it is a weird. Who knows? Who knows? Like it's magic is now up in the air.
Right.
The way that physics works.
Right,
It's just
right.
like now magic is something to put into the equation.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So like just universally. So yeah,
It's
dude.
wild.
All right, so
Yeah.
we talked about the shift and stuff. So Braxton,
Yeah.
we got on to like where Roper
I'm glad
stands.
that he likes it. I'm glad that
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no,
it's
100%.
yeah,
I'm,
100%.
I'm excited that you're excited. That's really cool.
I'm excited because you'll understand where I'm coming from after my story, but like it's refreshing to see that Christian. I like I said, I don't like saying these words, but Christian artists and Christian people that pursue a Christian lifestyle for their careers are kind of pressing off of the religious hard points to become something big. And I'm sorry that that's the way the world works right now, but that's
It's
the way
not
it is.
safe. It's not
you
a
know?
safe one.
Yeah, it's not
this
safe.
One's, yeah.
I mean, we have Toby Mac. He's still a Christian rapper, and he will always be a Christian rapper, and he will be in the Christian world for the rest of his life. We have NF that stepped into a
I like
Christian
it. Yeah, it's
a
good.
Christian realm, and then he stepped out of it, knowing that.
Oh,
people
did
were,
he?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing.
Did
he-
NF step out of the what?
No, he's not. He's not like.
Oh,
he-
kinda. Okay, I was wondering if that was like official.
He's still doing. He's still doing his music the way he is,
course.
but he's not. He's saying, "I'm
What
not
21
secular,
Pilots
but
did,
I'm
yeah.
not. I'm not a Christian rapper. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to
Right.
be put here."
Right.
So he's
Not
like done
existing only
songs.
in a genre.
He did songs with Hobson. He did songs with Tech Nine. I mean, he's stepping into the world of the secular area, but he's still NF, and he still
Yeah.
will be NF for until he dies. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Sorry, Toby Mac, that you had to hear that
Sorry,
by me,
bud.
but it's true. I mean,
Get
Toby Mac
reality
is a
check.
Christian rapper
Yeah.
to me. So that's. So whenever I see things like this, it kind of it excites me to know that
Good.
people.
Yeah,
can-
because this is a good story.
Yeah, it's a good
just
story.
yeah, dude. It is like what a lovely. It's just.
So you can obviously have. Like,
I was talking
a-
about the Bible, but
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
no.
the shift
so
too.
you can
yeah.
have a type of appreciation for that, in
Yeah.
a type of like a creative type of view. But what's what's
So-
your stance?
So
Yeah,
uh,
let's do
where are
that.
you
Let's
at?
do that. Yeah.
So I wanted to state my what this is here because I feel like it is time. I feel like it's a good time to do so, and I feel like Roper being here and your name will come up because it's really crazy
That's
and
cool.
how coincidence this whole thing is. Because I told Jacob about it. I don't think he's told you about it, but it's crazy that your name, what your name is, Roper Kirby. It'll come up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh, I
funny.
don't know
It's
what-
kind of
yeah.
it's
So-
kind of funny. It's cool.
I grew up in a church. I think at about 5 years old, my parents went to a church called Victory Family Worship Center, and I was raised there. Like from the day it started, when we only had 10 people in this church to where it is now, I was there. In this little white church, we had a pastor called Rick Beard. Shout out to Rick Beard. He was a really cool guy. You know, I started
Cool
my
name.
music career, playing drums. I've always wanted to play drums. I say God, but it was also the cutie, maybe like the late 20-year-old girl that used to play the drums at that church.
Okay.
Kind of got my
Got your attention.
they got my attention in doing
Yeah.
so. So I was like, okay, cool. So I started playing drums there, and I played there until I was 18. So, like I said, I was in this church, and then we moved to a different church. It was the same church, but we were growing. So it was a small white building, and then we went to a
nice.
bigger church, and then we bought a huge it was supposed to be like a warehouse, and we bought it and we built it into a building of a
so cool.
church building. So that's what happened, and I was there. I was there for it all. I saw everything happen. I saw people move in, move out, and the process of the politics of the church community, and at a young age, a very young age,
Yeah.
And then my parents were youth pastors for a little bit, so I was
wow.
going to youth at I don't know, 10,
Are you the
11.
black sheep?
Yeah.
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 I have two younger sisters, but I was the oldest of my family and stuff. And
It's exactly how
Oh,
I
wow.
have two
You know,
younger sisters, but
yeah.
I'm the oldest male. Yeah.
I told my dad
I
and my
never
mom,
talked to my sister.
I told
Yeah.
I told my dad and my mom, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be goth. I like metal music, Demon Hunter. Once Nothing First Came to Law, like that kind of music I loved that stuff, and I was learning how to play my drums. Do the double bass and all that stuff. I got
Hell
into
yeah.
ICP, Slipknot, Korn, all of that
Heaven,
stuff.
yeah. Heavens, yes.
Heavens, yes.
Heavens, yes. So I did that, and about this time is when the pastor that was there, Rick Beard, decided to venture off and do his own thing.
Right.
And so that was a big shift. Ba-doom-psh.
Yeah. Full circle.
That was a big shift
Good
and,
one.
and everything that happened because this.
You were close with that guy.
I was close with that guy
Yeah.
and his family. He had sons and we were friends and stuff, and it was a big shift. And then this guy came. His name was not Roper Kirby, but he was.
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to dox him. That's why I said it
Okay.
off air. But it was his name was Robert Kirby. I'm going to say
Robert.
Yeah,
Okay.
Robert Kirby. That's what his name was.
Okay.
I'm not going to dox you. But your
Robert.
name was Robert Kirby.
Robert.
Robert.
He came in and he kind of was not the best, you know. He well, first of all, I will say that when a teenage drummer didn't like the fact that he was going to play electric drums, you know what I'm saying? I was always an acoustic guy, so he was like,
Yeah.
we're going to go electric, and I was like that rebel. I was like, no, you can't do this to us.
No,
We're-
you absolutely
you know,
not. You're
how
not gonna
dare
press
you?
sound.
How dare you change? You know, and so like that was kind of like, you know, whatever. But then it was kind of like you know, things like he didn't like the way I dressed and he didn't like the way my hair was and stuff like that. And me being a teenage child,
Yeah, really, yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Little
kind of messed me
adolescent.
up because in the place that I lived, you know, we couldn't have those hairstyles in school. We could only do it in the summer whenever we didn't have school. So like
Yeah,
the
that's how
time that
my
I
school
had
was,
was
too.
Oh, were you
3
a rebel?
months. 3 months of summer.
Were you able to do it during the school year?
I wasn't.
No.
I didn't. And I followed rules. So like in summer, I did a mohawk, and I was like, cool, you know. And I wore the black clothes, and I listened to metal music and stuff. And then it got to the point where you know he made rules for the church where I couldn't,
Oh, my goodness.
and you know I couldn't do these things. And you know I'm not the type of person.
What was he doing? Was he pulling out a pole? Where was he? Where did he get off? Like, what did he?
Yeah.
Stuff
What
my
was it?
church did.
Well, like, what was? I mean, please indulge me on how the narrative about a man who goes against the Roman government of its time and the church,
Right.
and please, dude, it's so weird.
Yeah,
It's so weird. How are we doing that?
Right.
How do we, you know, like it's just, yeah, dude. I respect the rights of the more we can increase rights,
Right.
the better.
Right. And the more comfortable you are in a church, you know,
Yeah.
I love church. I will always forever love church. If I ever find a church that is comfortable, I will go there. Like I enjoy being there. It's a place
You
that I
love
The
worship.
commute.
You know?
The commute
Yeah.
itself. Yeah.
This guy should have had Mark on it. If only we knew.
Yeah.
If only we knew at the time. Yeah. Legend has he disappeared.
He disappeared.
Yeah, that's yeah. I
So-
don't have him. Jacob might still have him. Yeah.
So that's where we're at. You know, he was making rules and stuff, and he had the nights at the round table, where it was the politics. You know, the good rich white men get
Oh, of course.
to say what happens. You know, and so I was the oddball out, and you know the rules stand, and I couldn't do the things that I wanted to.
So what'd you do?
So I kind of bent, and I said, whatever, it's fine. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm only 14 years old at this time, and I'm just going to do it, you know. But at the same time, you know, I got my first job at 15, you know, and so I was becoming more of an adult really fast, and you know, the same things were happening, and fingers being pointed at, and blah blah blah.
Growing up.
Yeah, and so they, you know, I would do something wrong. I would say something wrong, or I would do something wrong, or you know, look at the pastor the wrong way, and they would suspend me for playing the drums.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
So
Yeah.
they had authority over you.
Yeah, they would
It
suspend
all
me.
comes back to the drums. Yeah.
Yeah, it always
How
comes
dare
back
you?
to the drums. But it's a little bit more deeper.
I'm sure,
because
It
when
kind
all
of
this
does paint a
stuff
picture.
when all this stuff was happening, I felt like as a teenager I was getting the finger pointed at me, but their daughter had premarital sex with a cop that was married
Oh.
and had a child.
Ow! Wow!
Wow. How old was the daughter?
She was still in high school.
Okay.
Goodness.
Wow.
But
That's a big one.
So
but,
that probably affected your development.
yeah,
pretty
because I
hard.
was
That hit your
because
views
angry
and
that they
your
were pointing the
morals.
finger at me and seeing a pastor preach to a community while
And here
his-
they were behind the
yeah,
scenes.
yeah, doing all of this.
Yeah,
and
that's a rough one. Yeah, that's
it,
bad.
it kind of messed
It's a
me up.
no-go.
It kind of
Yeah.
messed me up as a kid. Like what
Oh
is
yeah,
right and
all
wrong?
trust is broken
Yeah.
at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that hits hard.
She,
seeing
she,
stuff
they
like
were
that.
married. The cop was married, and she
Yeah, and
Okay,
then
and
he had
she
an
was
affair, and she had
14.
no, she was probably in high school, so
She's
probably
a teenager somewhere.
18, 19, somewhere around there.
Yeah, there's
you know?
there's definitely a responsibility that comes with being a police officer to
And
yeah.
a husband.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, case
Yeah.
closed. Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
While all this was happening, I was being suspended right and left for saying or wearing or looking
Just
a
being
certain
you,
way. Yeah.
being yourself.
And then, one day they had enough. It was actually my homecoming football game. I was playing, I was percussionist for the band. So my dad texted me like 10:30 at night. He goes, "Hey, we're gonna have a meeting at the church when you get done."
You were at what grade at this point?
I was 18, so it was my senior year.
okay. So this okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so it was my senior
okay.
year. And right off the bat, I already knew. I was like, "You're gonna have a meeting at 10:30 at night. Really? We're gonna have this?"
Oh
meeting?
yeah, that's already. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Like I know it's coming.
Gotcha.
like,
so-
isn't that your bedtime?
Yeah,
Like,
it's like-
isn't that yeah?
It's like I'm about to go to sleep. So right whenever I go in there, I already knew that I was gonna get kicked out. And I was like, just tell me, bro. Like, just tell me straight up. And they're like, yeah, you're no longer a part of the music worship, praise and worship team, and we're gonna go our own way.
Yeah, the whole sheep thing. Yeah, that's difficult to do.
Yeah, and so I left I didn't leave the church I didn't leave the church right on,
Like not immediately.
not immediately, because my parents. I still live with my parents,
Gotcha.
and so I still had to follow my parents' rules.
And they had you like
They still, like, you're
still
gonna come
attend
to church still,
services.
yeah.
Okay.
And,
Wow,
and I was kind of
that's
mad
a-
too.
Wow, that's a plot twist there.
I was
yeah,
kind of
you're
mad
so-
too because my parents still go to that church to this day, and they saw what all happened and stuff. I love my parents. I love them to death. I don't, it's whatever.
I'm
but at
sure
the
you
moment,
weren't like the most fantastic all the time forever perfect person
No,
kid, but
no.
it's
I was still following a Christian path.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you have a lot on your anytime you're with the Christian religion and it's based on rebels. It's based on that's really the core of the story. It is definitely. I mean, you have the cards in your favor in a lot of ways. That it's just you go after the lost sheep or whatever. You
Right,
know?
right.
So I mean, it's just the electric drums being too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff happening
ridiculous.
too. Like it's the electric. Everything was changing. They wanted me to be the same. They wanted me to be the same as everybody else.
And
but
you wanted to wear mascara, not mascara, eyeliner.
I wanted to wear eyeliner.
Good.
But
Good.
they were changing pews to chairs, and they were painting the walls purple, and they wanted to be all they wanted to be on the social medias and stuff. And it's like a lot of good change, but I can't.
What's up with the drums though?
Yeah, what's up
What's
with-
up
Yeah,
with
why
the
is it-
with the freaking drums?
What's up with me
Yeah.
just being a white boy in a small town playing drums? What's up with what's the difference between changing a church this way
I get it.
and letting
yeah.
me be what I want? And it was just very at that time as a child.
You're
as
not
a teen,
wanting to murder. You're
Yeah.
not. Yeah, you're.
I'm just confused, very confused kid at that moment.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
You could say like I'm growing up in your adolescence. You could say like you were in a lot of ways you were like undermined for
Yeah.
literally just your
yeah.
personality.
I felt like I
your
was being
specific-
attacked to a
Yeah,
place that
sure.
was already.
You were not.
growing.
You were not put up. You were not put in an environment that would have been conducively helpful for you.
Right. And then they kicked me out, and me and my parents, we had fits and fights about it all, and blah blah. And finally, I just said, "No, I'm not going to do this no more." And I left, and I went to the Methodist church.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So you changed church.
Yeah,
All
and I was
Methodist.
comfortable there. I was comfortable at the Methodist church, but still, while I left, they were having meetings about me. That church with the community of churches in the
I
town.
feel you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were having meetings about me.
This is like a little small town, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
small
so
town.
yeah, it's like, dude, it's like high school on a larger scale.
Yeah, on
And,
a
like,
larger
it's like you're not even there
political,
anymore,
religious
but
scale.
they're still gonna pull drama.
What
Yeah.
were they
because
doing? What were they doing?
They
What
take
was-
on energy.
What was their
from
meetings
it.
about? The grown man. Wait,
I
you were
feel like-
an adult at this time, right?
Yeah, I was an adult, and I felt like they knew that I had some type of power. They knew, and it's not like spiritual power. They just knew that I was a very communicative person. I was
like
very
a
social.
leadership.
Leadership.
You're not just one of those kids that just sits in the back
Yeah.
and doesn't do anything. You
and
have
I
a
think they
sense
were
of power.
afraid that I would bring more people to a different church or whatever. And it was weird because I was just chilling at a Methodist church, and the pastor of that church sat next to me and said, "Hey, look, I don't know why, but we're having a meeting about you." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes,
Yeah, as an adult, yeah.
"Yeah." I was like, I am 20 years, like, I was like, maybe, I was 21. I was like, 21 years old. I don't need to
I hope it was a good meeting. I hope it was.
It was about like, if they thought, the church I left stated that the Methodist church stole me from them.
Oh my Lord.
And I was like,
my goodness.
and so I had to have this whole conversation with the pastor and said, "No, look, this is what happened, and if they don't like it, then they can eat their own, behind."
Literally, as
So-
a very young person, you were the center root of drama
Yeah.
from other people.
Yeah.
for
It's always
no
yeah,
reason.
Always.
Yeah, I see Christ in you.
Absolutely.
And
okay.
and so doing that and a whole other array of things that happened after.
This one's yours.
That's
Right?
this one's mine.
I've drinking 2 water bottles.
You have
yeah.
some of mine.
Oh yeah, I might do that.
But a whole array of other things that had happened after that whole thing has made me change my perspective on religion and my path.
Okay,
And
so where are you,
you know,
now? Where
I'm
leading up?
not going to say
Not
what
that there's
I
a
am.
destination.
Yeah,
or
there's no
whatever,
destination.
Yeah.
Got you.
I won't say what I am today, but I will say that I do believe in Jesus and I do believe in Satan and fallen angels and
I mean,
archangels.
no, I'm agreeing. Like woo to both, not particularly Satan in particular, because I said woo, but I'm wooing the combination
Right.
of the two.
Good.
I wasn't
Right.
just
No, people.
wooing Satan.
People do need to understand that
Yes.
Satan is a real thing and Satan is a part of this belief system.
No one has a right to say that you're uneducated
Right.
or inexperienced at all.
Right.
Like you've been down a path. You've seen
Yeah.
a path.
It's so crazy. Who is the character? That's kind of the thing. Is so figuring out who that character is.
Yeah.
That's a rough one because like he's like God's consultant or something.
Right.
In the story of Job, he's just like working, doing like they're like having a meeting.
It's like a
They're
hand in hand type
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. They have a meeting
Right.
and talk to each other.
Yeah.
And it's.
And I get really
the
upset.
Satan it's a difficult character. It's a
I get
very
really
difficult
upset when
character.
people negate the evil in this path, because if you believe in God and you believe the story of the Bible and you follow this structure,
Then responsibly.
yeah, you have to see the other hand.
You have to have acknowledgement.
You have to know that there are fallen angels. You have to know that there are demons and Satan and the bad things that had happened in this Bible, not just from Satan. I'm not going to say it was a bad thing, but it was a very huge thing that happened. That God flooded the earth.
Oh sure,
And
yeah,
he
no.
only
God's
had
that
only
I think
had
the
the
accountability
earth
as
has
well.
been flooded before. I think that's
Yeah.
we have like evidence. there.
survived. Like he had Noah and his four kids and his wife.
Yeah.
Survived. And-
One man doing the right thing. One man could save the world.
Yeah, and God completely flooded the earth, and everybody on earth, they died.
It's a very dark
Died.
story.
They're
It's a
dead.
very dark narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it is dark.
it
and
should be taken. Here's the thing about what I think like, oh my goodness, my heart or whatever. So like, Job says God would be guilty for what he has done
Right.
in a court, and that's Job. Our protagonist of the story, because God comes down. His friends are like, Job, you can't say that. And then God comes. I did this on the write up. Tell me, it's God comes down and tells Job. He's like, what do you think I am? Like a Leviathan? Like he starts off like with real animals, and then he ends up with a Leviathan, which might not even be real type thing.
Right.
It's like, you think I'm a Leviathan? Can you put me on a leash like your dog and give me to your daughters? You gonna like walk me around, Job? Am I like he's like, I'm a monster. I'm a Leviathan.
Right.
He's like you can't contain the whatever. And so he what he does for Job is he's just like, Job, everything you said about God, being guilty in a later we have Jesus who comes as I see no theological way out of this.
Right.
That Jesus crucified the Old Testament God.
Right.
I see with the best of my ability no theological way outside of that
Right.
truism. And so Job was like told God that he'd be guilty. God comes down and says like, you know what? I'm on Job's side.
Right.
He's right. I'm a Leviathan, you know? So yeah, it's
Your stance is like a genuine prelude as to there being two sides
the
of
guilt
every
falls
coin.
on a
Yeah.
particular
Two sides
Yeah.
to every coin, but a lot of Christians are just like, no, you focus on the Jesus side. And
Yeah, you
don't-
focus on the good side. You focus on the flower. You
He took
focus
the
on the
guilt.
sun,
He took
the lamb, and all that stuff. You
focus
focus
on
on
the
all of
good.
that. And
good
it's like
part of religion, but
people
you do not
forget.
dare.
People forget when they say fear God. It's not because you have to fear him like as in like he's your dad. You fear him because the earth was destroyed because of him.
Yeah.
You fear him because in a split second of like right now I could be dropped dead.
Yeah.
You know, he created hell.
Yeah.
God created hell. Like
That is
that's
true,
the
yeah.
fearful stuff that
Yeah.
people tend to forget. It's like, no, my God is all loving, all caring. Yeah, but he has no mercy. And it's all done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that that's a
okay.
fair estimation.
100%.
Yeah, the Old Testament. Okay, real quick. I don't think that I'm the only one. Oh, this is really good too. I'm loving that we're talking about this. I think there's a lot of theologians, a lot of people, a lot of Jews who look at all the things in the Old Testament, like wipe out all those people, take everything. It's just like, well, that's a lot, you know? And then there's other stories, like the story of Jesus who gets himself killed to, you know, and it's just like, you know, there's a lot to take in. And, you know, a lot of Jews even would be like, you know, they're not entirely, you know, that's just like, well, that's a rough one. Like
Right.
Noah, that's a rough one, you know? And so like, I think there's a lot
Right.
that are like that they may be hard to find,
Yeah.
but that ultimately Jesus took on the guilts of us, and as you know, he was the Lord, he was the, so I mean, and I think that's part of the equation
Yeah.
that's generally left out.
Yeah.
Is, you know, he died for our sins, as you know. So I mean,
Yep.
if
died for our
if Job's words are true, so God tells Job that's an accurate estimation.
Yeah.
And that's how I understand it. Is that God comes down, says, Job, that's an accurate estimation. So I mean, are we, you know, do we believe it or do we not? You
Right.
know, so I mean,
Well, and that's the thing too. Is like God created all things. God created everything. So if he is guilty, then what?
I guess that's the point. Is that
That's
you?
it.
So I guess on a
he-
maturity level,
Like at a level of like I
beautiful,
believe.
I guess.
Yeah,
It's
it's like he's like, I'm guilty for doing these things, but it had to
Thank
happen.
God. Thank
Yeah.
God. Like, it's just like, because it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Thank God someone's guilty.
And that's what's hard about where I'm standing at right now in my path and stuff is like we had archangels that turned into fallen angels, and we have Lucifer turning into this person that is no longer a part of heaven. And in my sense of like people pointing the finger and be like, you know, the devil made me do it, or you know, these things like astrology and science and all of these things that are bad, that are not a part of the Bible or God himself. It's like people don't understand in the history books of like the Bible and what had happened with the fallen angels. Like the fallen angels were teaching humans astrology and science.
Gotcha.
And things that
Very interesting.
that
Yeah.
when
It's worth noting, absolutely.
when they were in heaven was taught to them. Because if they were teaching us, where did they get it from?
Yeah.
And people and people shy away from that stuff and shut the door and be like, we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk. Like, why not?
It is
We're gonna
difficult
just
to know,
talk
yeah.
about God.
Right. And so I can, it's, the early Christians were put in quite a predicament, because it's like they're wanting to make a book. They're wanting to get something, you know, and it's just like, so I do have some sympathy for that. It's just like,
Right.
okay, so they're trying to weave together a narrative and then just publish it, I guess, is kind of the way to think about it. Like, they need a book. And so they, you know, should they have been burning stuff? Probably not. In my estimation, that's what I think. I don't probably think burning something's the right way to do it.
Right.
But yeah, they were trying to make a book, you know. They were trying to weave together. So, I mean, I do have some, you know, empathy or something for that. But yeah, God inspired. I don't not believe that. I do believe that it's written by God.
Right. Right.
That's difficult because it's also written by man.
Yeah.
With human hands. So I mean,
That's a whole. That would be a whole thing we would have to get back in. We need another podcast.
Sure.
You need to come back. We need to. There's so much we could talk about at this moment, but we have literally hit 2 hours.
Yeah, we gotta. Yeah, let's do a little bit.
And it was
a little bit more.
Yeah. It was, dude. I'm honored that you came. Thank you for coming. And just so random, it just ended up being, and I'm glad that it happened that way.
It's been good.
And I appreciate you doing this. It's gonna be a fun ride. We end up, coming back and doing this again.
Yeah, I think so.
I
think so.
I have a few people. Shout out to Jeffrey Neurotic. He is an artist here in Amarillo that is a very, very eclectic person.
Jeffrey Neurotic.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. But his podcast, if you want to see a strange one, that's one to listen to. But Robert, tell me what's going to happen in the near future. Plug your stuff. Idea. What's your socials? Let's get it going.
Okay, so it's Bible time. Oh goodness. Jacob, I'm super excited. I'm super excited because why would I not be about itsbibletime.com, which is most likely probably a thing that's happening soon. Probably tomorrow.
It'll be dropping very soon.
It's BibleTime.com.
The whole shebang.
No, just as far as merchandise and everything, big shout out to honestly, just for real, The Chosen is actually it's if you haven't seen, how do you say that? Assuming that you should watch a show about the life of Christ. Yeah. So taking that first assumption, so you got to do that first. And
The Chosen.
The Chosen's the best one for it. Yeah. And then oh dude, The Shift is just written by that brilliant Mormon man. What's his name? Brock Heasley. He also wrote a book called The Other Side of Fear. So
you plug him
Super
pretty
Hoagies. Well. Super Hoagies. Yeah, dude. I think I've ordered that twice, no joke. And first time it was sent to the wrong address. Second time it just never showed up. Eventually, I'm going to get me some Super Hoagies, and I'm going to order that a third time. That's how much I want to read that. Yeah, he does comic book type.
Right.
Dude, they're in their 80s. They're like superheroes, so they're in their 80s.
That's crazy.
It's got to be very sweet, probably. Very probably.
There used to be those books over there at we called it Masters, but it was like a church store that you can buy books at, and they had those crazy stories in the Bible, and it was comic book drawn. Yeah. I forget what those were called. I'll have to look those up and send them to you. I can't remember. Those
are
really
good art I've seen. Yeah. Jacob,
But it's Bible time.
Yeah, and I don't know. How are you doing?
Good. Great.
So you're is it just Bible time on YouTube?
I think it'll. You can get there that way. I'm sure what's there now won't always. I have some uncut versions of it. I'm probably going to condense those down. I'm not sure how long those will be out there. I would like to think that they're there always in some sense.
So but Jacob told me that they're mostly on.
They're really bad.
Facebook.
The ones that are not edited are pretty rough to watch me stumble through the reading like that. But the ones that are edited are done so to spread the. Do the thing,
Spread the gospel.
Yeah, do that, yeah. So yeah.
Jacob, what about you? You got any socials? What's going on?
Oh man, dude, I'm literally, I ain't got no projects or anything going on right now. I'm literally just a guy.
Just chilling.
I'm just a guy.
If you ever need a guy just to chill,
I got you.
guy.
Oh, dude,
Jacob's
I'm
the guy.
I'm
Biggest
definitely a guy.
Bible Times biggest fan.
Biggest fan of
Close
Bible
us out
Time.
on that. Yeah, tell us. Yeah, let's.
It's Bible Times absolutely #1 fan.
There you go.
Is super interesting, super
nice.
Yeah. It's very very nice.
Tell
and
what
it's such a thing.
It is.
It is a thing.
It exists.
That you can watch. It exists and it's nice.
real live.
And it will definitely give you an experience.
Yep.
It
You'll
is-
definitely
One
get
time,
something out of it.
one time, I heard him say, "It's all right."
Yeah.
It's definitely it's all right.
100%. It's all right. I would go as far as to say that.
It's all right.
the way.
To
It
be
is all
honest,
right.
when I first watched it, it was pretty good.
It was
pretty all right.
neat. It was pretty neat.
It was great. Honestly,
No, 100%. It definitely is. It's worth a watch. Always, it's worth a watch.
guys, this was great. I hope I see y'all.
was lovely. Yeah, this was
I hope I
fantastic.
see y'all sooner, than later.
Oh yeah,
But
we're
it
around.
is it's about that time to end the podcast. You got anything else you want to say?
Goodness, no. It's thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you, Paperman.
Paperman.
Paper boy.
Paper
'Cause
boy
that's the word.
Viking
Paper
man.
boy
Paper
Viking
boy
man,
Viking man.
I better get like a
Shirts.
a shirt
Yeah.
of a
Okay.
paper boy
Of a paper boy.
Viking
Maybe
man.
next
That's
time.
a Viking
yeah,
man.
Yeah, we gotta
We gotta
get.
get him some merch. Grim, some merch, please.
Oh, dude.
That's my guy.
Merch Grim.
Hell, heaven,
Grim
yeah.
merch.
Heaven, yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
Know your path. Learn your path. It's a process. And respect the process.
Yep. Do you have any time to? What do they say when they knock
Oh.
on the door? They go, and you open the door.
Have you heard the good word?
Yeah.
Have you heard the good word of our Jesus Christ? See y'all later.
Wow,
Bye.
absolutely.
Have a good day.
I was his youth minister.
Yes.